Oh, for my mic?
Test 1, 2. Hey, welcome to Volusia County Beach Safety 2022's Interzone Ocean Rescue Competition. With me here today is Volusia County's Kate Sark. I'm Jack Driscoll, and this is Chief or Director of Beach Safety Ocean Rescue, Andy Etheridge. Welcome, Andy.
Thank you. Good to have everybody here. We're looking forward to a good night of racing. It's going to be some action-packed lifeguard competition here. We're going to have a good opportunity to show off some of Volusia County's best.
Kate, we had such a good time last year. Looking forward to it. We got a little bit of tide, a little bit of wind here today. You excited to be here?
I'm so happy to be back. Last year was such a great event, so looking forward to see a bigger and better competition this year and see what you guys have to offer.
Andy, how's the summer been going so far this year? Pretty good?
It's been a busy summer, you know. We're battling some challenges, but we're getting through them, and our guards are really working hard. They're putting the time in, and you know, this year so far we've rescued over 1,600 people from the ocean, so that's a pretty good effort. So our guards are really putting in the work, keeping the visitors and the citizens safe out there in the ocean.
So we're about at peak season right now. We just finished the July 4th weekend, and now we're going into the middle of July. We got some competitors here from New Smyrna, the Dunlawton area, and of course Ormond, and then of course we're coming right here from Daytona Beach, right at Sunsplash Park at our Lifeguard headquarters, folks, and we look forward to having you guys here for the next couple of hours. We're going to have 4 different events to start off with, and then we're going to finish up with beach flags, and it should be exciting. Kate, what's your favorite event?
Oh, I mean, I think it's probably the cliche answer, but beach flags is so exciting. The end of the night to watch those people go at it and all battle down to that very last flag. It's just so exciting to see everyone, all the action that goes into it.
Andy, I noticed you got some family members here tonight. It looks like we got some other kids and wives and husbands and dads and moms down there today. You see anybody so far you recognize?
Yeah, actually my wife is here.
Other than her.
She's very supportive, and my daughter, who has just finished her last year of junior lifeguard camp, so she's excited to be here. She's looking forward to being a guard next year. So we're happy about that, and this is a good time. This is always a highly anticipated event. All of our guards look forward to it all year long. It is kind of the peak. After this, everything, as they say, is downhill from here. But it's always a good event. We're looking forward to it, and as always, we'll be chasing daylight tonight.
Yeah, so Andy, we talked about a little bit. There's 4 different events that we have that we kind of, or 5, right? 4, 5?
There's 5 events.
5 total. So, and then there's different scoring for each of them. So, Jack, why don't you tell us a little bit about how the scoring system works and how everyone's competing tonight to try to get that top spot?
Right. The first 4 events are going to be 10 points for the winner, 8 points for second place, 6 points for third place, and of course 4 points for fourth place. In the beach flags event, because it's a little bit more of a specialized event, but not as lengthy or as I don't know, valued in our system, we give it 5 points for the winner, 4 points for second, 3 points for third, and of course 2 points for fourth place. Last year, however, came down to beach flags again, and Ormond was the champion for the second year in a row with sweeping the last 3 events, both men's and women's beach flags and the medley. So it's crucial to have people that are competitive in those events as well.
It is. You know, that medley is actually my favorite event, other than the beach flags. That's always exciting. But the medley is the one where you have to put all the right people in the right place, because it tests all of the skills of a lifeguard. You got your swimming, your paddling, your running, and your actual ocean rescue. So it really puts all the elements of the job together, and it shows you how well you can put a team together to put the right people in the right place to bring home that win.
Well, and Andy, you bring up a really good point that this is a really fun, exciting competition, but this is really utilizing the skills that our beach safety team uses every day and relies on to do their job and keep our beachgoers safe, right?
You better believe it. This doesn't happen just overnight. These guards are out here training every single day. They're putting in the work. This is just their opportunity to show off what they can do. And it's also a great opportunity for everybody to see what your Volusia County lifeguards are able to do as far as competitions go. So it's a fun way to actually get out there and compete against each other for some bragging rights. And this isn't the only competition we do. We send competitors all over the place wherever we have national or regional events, and sometimes even world events. So those events are very high competition, and our guards compete at the highest levels, and they do very well.
Right, that's right. We've also like to mention that not all these competitors here, these 16, 17, 18-year-old young guards, we have our full-time personnel, our law enforcement cross-trained personnel, the specialized triple-trained personnel that we have. They're in here, and they're some of our top competitors, and we got one coming in that we'll mention in a little bit, that 48 years old. He's coming back in to compete this year. He's coming out of New Smyrna, and we have all levels and all age groups mixing it up, full-time, part-time, seasonal guards. So we'll see who comes up with some new talent this year. We've got some veterans that are going to be featured in all the events, and we'll feature those later on in some of our graphics. It's kind of some fun facts to mix up with you. But Andy, these full-time guys, the ones that are law enforcement trained, they're equally qualified in the water, are they not?
Well, not only are they equally qualified, some of them are the best that we have. You know, our physical requirements are not, they don't discriminate against anybody. Everybody, including myself, are required to still be able to pass those physical requirements every year, 2 times a year for our full-timers. So this job keeps them in tip-top shape. It's a very physically demanding job. So they don't just want to be that way, they have to be.
They have to be that way. They've coming off a busy weekend. As a matter of fact, they're not only in tip-top shape, but they're also tip-top trained as far as being emergency medical technicians, law enforcement for our full-time employees, and also all of them have deep experience in ocean rescue. So these events that we're going to spotlight tonight, they are basically tied to the profession of ocean rescue, other than the beach flags. The beach flags is the most popular. It's the funnest to watch. It's the most spectator friendly. However, it's generally not a feature of their actual job. It's a fun event that worldwide is recognized as one of the most popular, because we can all crowd around and watch it at the end of the evening for the finals. So we got a lot to look forward to tonight.
We do. It's going to be exciting. As I said, we're always chasing the daylight here. Not only are our competitors competing today, they all work today. So as soon as they get off of that tower from protecting the public all day long, they race to get here, of course, obeying the speed limit. They get here as soon as they can to get in that water and start the events, because most times we're having that beach flag competition as the night is falling on us. And this year will probably be no exception, but we'll do our best to get it all in for you.
Yeah, I remember last year we had pulled out some of our ATVs and started shining the lights on there to let those people be able to see those last few flags we had, because vision is so much a part of that, right?
It does get challenging. And as we go on, you'll see why as you're watching that sport progress through its phases.
So yeah.
That's going to happen tonight. We're going to be running out of daylight, but however, like we just mentioned to the production crew, we're going to have this glorious full moon tonight. It's going to be the largest full moon of the year. It should be spectacular as we're winding down the evening. We'll get a sunset on the backside, cascading across the skyline of Daytona Beach here, and we'll also have the great big moon coming up. So it should be a lot of fun. Briefly, the first event, we're waiting on our competitors to come in from New Smyrna to make sure we get those all here. The first event is going to be the swim relay. And then briefly, we'll have a pause, and then we'll go into the paddle relay. Those are both 4-man relay teams. and then we'll get into the 4x100 relay, both men's and women's, and then we'll switch back into the water and do a medley relay, which involves a swim, a paddle, a quarter-mile run, and then a rescue. So it should be fun, and then we'll roll back up into the soft sand and do beach flags to close out the evening.
Yep, and for those people following along and watching, this year you'll be able to pay attention based on swim caps to be able to tell who is who as far as teams. So our District 2 Ormond is going to be wearing yellow swim caps. District 3 Daytona is going to be wearing green. District 5 Dunlawton is in white, and District 4 New Smyrna is in pink. So that'll be a good way to be able to keep an eye on the different districts while they're swimming through the water.
Right, and also shout out to the production crew here with Volusia County Community Information. We've got drones flying overhead, so they'll be able to follow those competitors overhead. They'll have a closer view than we do, so they'll be able to telecast the leaders and the order of finish, and as they're rounding the buoys to you clearer than ever. So we're really excited.
Yeah, and as we get going, maybe we can thank Andy for his time. Any last words for competitors? Anything else you want our viewers to know?
No, I'm just real happy this got here. The production team, as Jack said, it has been amazing. You blow me away every year. It gets better each year. This is the second year we've done it, and you far exceeded my expectations. And you know, this is because we have a lot of support from our county council, and we have a lot of support from our county manager and all of our county leadership. So we want to thank them as well. And they give us the ability to give Volusia County the best of the best. And so we're looking forward to a good night.
That's well said, Andy. And also, I want to touch back. You mentioned your daughter just finished junior lifeguards. Tell me a little bit about the junior lifeguard program here and how it kind of percolates into a hopper. Some of our future employees, and what's the age limits and some of the areas that we have those classes going on.
So our junior lifeguard program is one of the most popular in the area. It's a summer program where the kids from 9 to 15 will come down. They'll spend the week at the beach from about 9 in the morning till about 3 in the afternoon. It absolutely wears them out. It is not a learn to swim program by any means. It is a way to teach these potential employees from a very young age how to fall in love with this job and how to do this job. Along the way, they have a lot of good fun. They meet a lot of good friends, and every one of those kids love it. We try and put about 800 kids a year through that program. It is one of the best, and we intend to continue growing that as much as we can.
Well, we have a lot of competitors here tonight who said they started out in junior lifeguard. They did the program as long as they could, and then they graduated from there onto a tower guard and are now part of your program, either part-time or full-time, and it's really just become part of their passion.
They are. Some of our full-time officers started with this agency in some capacity at 9 years old.
And what a testament to your agency that is, that these full-time employees have started at this young age and have truly fell in love with it and want to be part of it. And we hear that from a lot of people, what a passion it is to be able to protect the people that are here, and it's more than just a job.
It is more than just a job. It is a lifestyle. They do treat each other like family, and that's the way we want it. You rely on each other out there in that water in life or death situation. So we promote that teamwork and that family atmosphere, and they buy it and they live it.
Well, Andy, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. We're going to let you go so you can get down there on the sand and be part of the action up close. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back, and we'll get ready for competition to start.
Thanks a lot.
We are Volusia County Beach Safety. We're here to serve Volusia County's 47 miles of unique coastline. You know, Volusia County beaches. Yeah, those beaches. But also these beaches. We have millions of visitors every year, and we work around the clock to keep our beaches safe and beautiful. And you can help.
Swim near a staff lifeguard tower.
Pick up your trash and fill holes. Identify, avoid, and escape rip currents.
Please leave the beach cleaner than you found it.
There we go. Look out for one another and keep an eye on kids, especially near the traffic lane and in the water.
Pets are allowed at our 2 pet-friendly beaches, Lighthouse Point Park and Smyrna Dunes Park.
If you see something, say something.
A clean and safe beach guarantees fun in the sun for everyone. Thank you for doing your part to keep Volusia County beaches beautiful. See you at the beach!
Make the most of your day at the beach. Download the Volusia County Beaches app today. Sign up for real-time notifications on vehicle ramp openings and closings. Find staffed lifeguard towers. Get updates on tides and beach conditions, plus off-beach parking and coastal parks info. Volusia County Beaches app is available for your smart devices at the App Store and Google Play.
It looks like they've got them all. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome back to the 2022 Volusia County Beach Safety Ocean Rescue Interzone competition here at Sunsplash Park at Lifeguard headquarters. We're getting ready to start with the swim relay, which features 4 members of each team from respective zones in Ormond, Daytona, Dunlawton, and New Smyrna.
So before we get that going, we're going to air our national anthem. It is going to be sung by Kitty Rodriguez, who is the spouse of one of our officers here with Beach Safety.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you, Kitty Rodriguez. That is Sergeant Mark Rodriguez's wife, and we're taking a moment to sing the national anthem for us and help us kick things off this evening.
Yeah, we're getting ready to start with the swim relay, which is going to feature 4 swimmers from each district. Like I said before, is Ormond, Daytona, Dunlawton, and New Smyrna. So we're ready for the start, and we'll enlighten you to some of the star swimmers. They're now in the hands of the starter. Let's go down to the beach.
And they are just now entering the water, so you can see those swimmers have different color swim caps. Those swim caps represent the different zones or teams. So yellow is going to be your District 2 Ormond team. Green is going to be your District 3 Daytona team. White is your District 5 Dunlawton, and pink is District 4 New Smyrna.
As you can see, it's going to be a little bit rough out there. We have a southeast wind blowing today at about 5 to 10 miles an hour and 2 to 3 foot seas. So it's going to be a challenge. This isn't a pool swim, folks. No lines on the bottom of the pool. It's not very clear. There's very little visibility. So it's going to be a race. Now, the format's going to be an M shape format. So the swimmers are going to start on the south end of the course. They're going to go out to a buoy, the green colored buoy. They're going to make a left shoulder turn and return to shore in an M shape. They're going to come into shore, do a little body surfing and porpoise diving. They're going to run out of the water. This is a new feature this year, more spectator friendly. They're going to round the purple flag in the center of the course on the beach at water's edge. They're going to do a right shoulder turn, enter the water again just as you saw at the start. They're going to return out to the north green buoy, another 150 yards offshore, make a left shoulder turn, and then swim directly in to shore through the two checkered flags. Now, it's going to be a cross-country runner sort of format, so everybody ran into the water at once. So 16 swimmers are out on the course, 4 per team. So the higher you finish, the less numbers you have. And after the score is tabulated, the team with the highest average of number of swimmers will be declared the winner. So in instance, if you won the event and then you got an 8th and a 9th and maybe a 12th, that's a pretty good score. If you got a couple of them in the top 10, that's a really good score. So it's going to be interesting to see how they fare. Right now, it's pretty close out there. It's pretty tight. The trick is going to be, Kate, once they get to shore, who's not gassed, who's going to catch a wave and maybe overtake a competitor, and then who's good in the surf line. And I will tell you one caveat that's been hindering a lot of the guards here at drill is there's a lot of holes in the surf line. So we may see some falls, we may even see some injuries, knock on wood we don't, but we see those in real life rescues where they're speeding so quickly into the water that they'll make a misstep or find themselves in a foothold and down they go. So it should be interesting to see this new format, to see how things wash out, so to speak.
And that's really a good lesson for all of us, because I know we hear instances where the surface of the ocean is so unstable, and you may be walking, you may be running, you may be in the ocean and you hit a hole and you might be a lot deeper and it might be a lot harder to get out. So the importance of really knowing where you are and being comfortable in the water, right?
Correct. That's why they swim drill. They race for drill in the individual districts every morning at 9:15, and they'll go through different exercises and different formats as far as swimming drill. Some will have a little bit more running in them. Some days they'll be boarding. Some days they'll even have training as far as backboarding and whatnot. But always some swimming, and there's always a lot of surf entries. So it'll be interesting to see who's been practicing at that, who knows the bottom. Now here, I would say District 3 Daytona has the advantage here because this same course isn't what they've been practicing on, but they have been practicing on the surf line. I mean, they're using that same beach surf line where there's high tide, low tide throughout the summer. So for the last 6 weeks, they've been running in the same contour beach bottom.
So we do have a couple swimmers to note in this group. We've got Ethan Doster, right? Who is kind of a standout. We'll keep an eye on him as the event goes on.
Right. Ethan is a new star. He started last year, and he won the swim overall last year. So they've put him into this event. He's pretty quick. We've noticed some stacking in the medley, which is the last water event here today, but they put Ethan in this to give them a high score out of the quartet. So yeah, he's going to be one to watch. And also, I don't think Lucy Nobles is in this, but
Kim Murphy is, though. I know Kim Murphy.
Kim Murphy is a pro. She's with our travel team. She'll probably be going to regionals this year in Stewart and maybe even nationals out in Hermosa Beach, California this year in August. But she's a former school teacher. She's been doing it about 8 years, and she's good in the ocean. So we'll see what happens here. Pool swimmers, we'll see how they wash through in this event. It's a little choppy, so it's going to be a challenge.
Well, and this really goes to your point, Jack, that it's not just a bunch of those youngsters out there. We've got a really standout swimmer here in Kim, who is more of a senior lifeguard and has been with the agency and is someone to take note of.
Oh yeah, and she trains all the time. Some of these people that are in these events, drill is it. They're young, they're fit, they probably got a swim team history behind them. But as you age, you have to sort of discipline yourself to take upon the practices other than drill to keep up with these kids, because they're good.
Well, good for her. You mentioned something that we haven't touched on yet, but the strategy behind picking your team and who's going to compete in each event, because there's requirements and rules about how many events you can compete in and how you're going to line your team up, right?
That's right. It's one event per day for the competitors, with the exception of beach flags. You can throw beach flags in as a second event if you wish. Typically, we see the beach flag competitors as same members as the 4x100. It makes sense that way. But these guys, once they're done with this event, they're done. So if they want to stack, the medley, and they used a bird or two in the medley, they may be conceding a second or a third place in this opening event. So we'll see what happens with this plan. So far, it looks like some of the top swimmers are going to be in the medley as a rescuer and opening up with the swimmer. So we'll see who stands out here. It'll be interesting to see who our new talent is that's coming up this year.
Well, and that's why it's always such a secret what the rosters and the lineup are going to be, because everyone has their own strategy of how they're going to set things up for tonight.
Correct. It looks like now they're going around the flag, so now they have to take into consideration how that current affected them and how they're going to line up as far as re-entering the water to get around that second buoy. Some of them are getting swept a little bit off course on their way east towards that buoy, and you want to take the straight distance from point A to point B. You don't want to be swept too far and have to double back against the current, because you're going to lose 2 or 3 or 4 spaces as far as your finishes.
It's so tough. I mean, there's so many things. It's not just like you said, it's not a pool swim. There's so much more that goes into this.
Tammy, who's leading? Who was leading around the? Outstanding.
Keep going, it's not ready.
Yes, she is. I suspect that leader coming out of Daytona was Declan Outlaw. He and his brother Shay work for Shay's on duty.
Yeah, it definitely looked like an outlaw.
Yeah.
And then, I couldn't tell with New Smyrna, but we did have Dosser win the swim last year out of New Smyrna.
So they're going to be the ones in the top 3 right now. It looks like it. So it did look like Declan Outlaw as the Daytona guard.
Yeah, the lead was a Daytona guard.
Okay.
Yep.
So he is also a Navy reservist. He's following in his brother's footsteps. Both he and Shay were standout swimmers at Spruce Creek High School, and Declan has just graduated this year, and now he is in the Navy Reserves out of Jacksonville, and his brother is serving this weekend, so he couldn't compete. So we got 1 out of 2. They're both excellent swimmers. They're both huge. They're 6'4", 200 pounds, and they are tough in this kind of surf. So it stands to reason that both Kim, she's almost 6 foot tall herself, and Declan, being a taller person, once they get to the shoreline and they're both their surf entries and their exits, they get a little bit of an edge on the smaller swimmers.
And we can see them out there. It looks like the leaders are approaching that second green buoy. So once they round that, it'll just be a race in.
Right.
Yeah, the surf is really rough out here. It's not an easy swim, but they're doing a great job, and they'll be coming in just a few minutes.
And Tammy, it looks like you got a good crowd out there. We've got competitors, we've got friends, we've got families helping to cheer on your different competitors that are there.
Absolutely. You can definitely feel the excitement out here. You can feel the nervousness, the adrenaline. Everybody's ready to go.
Yeah, that ocean is rough out there, and it stands to reason why these guards have been putting up such numbers this summer. And as far as rescues go, these light winds that have been consistent all through June and July have really created some havoc. And so it's great practice that these guards have had over the last 6 weeks of the summer to make these rescues. Like I mentioned before, if you're a pool swimmer, this is totally different. They cannot see that orange buoy or that green buoy except when they're on the crest of a wave. The water is turbulent, there's white caps, and only when they're on the peak of one of those wave sets that they can actually see where they're going. So it's easy to get disorientated, easy to get off course. So the ones that have been practicing in choppy surf, particularly in the afternoon, are the ones that are going to be able to prevail today.
Wow, and that shot there really shows you what a distance this is, how far these swimmers are truly swimming and having to fight the current and the waves to be able to make this happen.
Yeah, it's a long way, and typically the course is a little bit easier And I'm saying that because on the north end of the course, it kind of parallels our beach ramp here where our emergency vehicles egress in and out of the beach. And what happens is afternoon thunderstorms wash down these vehicle ramps up and down the beach. So those are the areas that generally present rip currents, because even though the trough looks remotely small, where the water washes down and cuts a rut in the surface of the beach, sort of across where the traffic lane may be, if you will. But once it gets out into the ocean, these rip currents form and they grow in depth and they grow in width. So they're using a rip current to get out, but on the way back in, typically this north buoy, it's a challenge because they're getting swept against themselves and they're getting swept north with this current. So some of them are going to be coming off course. They're going to another 100, 200 feet off course to the north. So it may be a foot race to the finish line.
Well, and that really, when you talk about a rip current and how that forms, that can form very easily all up and down our beach, especially with the afternoon thunderstorms we've been getting. So really being aware of that, and that's why we have our lifeguards out in so many places, is because it's so easy to get pulled into one of those and not know what to do.
Yep, it sure is. We've gotten real good at public relations and community information by presenting our statistics daily out there and giving people hints and where they should bathe. Of course, in an open lifeguard tower, and our hours of operation is intensely important. So, and it's also good practice for these guards to acclimate themselves to where the trouble spots are going to be once they get out on the tower after they've done their morning drills.
And another just great example of why this is fun, but very important, because it gives our guards the opportunity to show off, but also to again finesse those skills and to help our watchers, all of our viewers, be aware kind of all of these things that our team can do and what our beachgoers can do to keep themselves a little bit safer.
That's right, that's right. We're serious about this job.
And it looks like they're getting ready to come in, so let's go down to Tammy on the beach and watch this finish.
Hi, Kate, Jack. This is so exciting. This part is so exciting. We're getting those swimmers coming in. I see a white cap. I see.
Somebody took their cap off just now.
Sometimes it falls off. Okay, yeah, that looks like New Smyrna again. All right, we got New Smyrna here. And it looks like our winner from last year, Doster.
Yep.
2 in a row.
Ethan Doster.
And we got our second place, Daytona, Outlaw.
Declan Outlaw.
We got another third place, Daytona. Yep. And Kim Murphy from Dunlun.
Wow.
Came in fourth. Nice job, Kim. We're seeing an Orman guard come in. They're exhausted, as you can tell.
She's exhausted.
They're very exhausted.
This looks like a pretty good mix of competitors,
Yeah.
Tammy, from all the different districts.
Absolutely. Another New Smyrna guard, Orma guard. You know, as they come over that finish line, they're so exhausted. They don't even know what to do. It's a very grueling race, especially with these surf conditions. They did an excellent job.
Yeah, it's definitely rough out there, and they're done for the day, and I bet they're glad they're done for the day. I can tell you one thing. We've got some standout female swimmers. When it comes to co-ed competition here, it doesn't matter in this particular event or the paddle event or the medley event. It's co-ed because some of the best swimmers we've had in our history, Hallie Peterson that swam at LSU, she's April O'Gorman is another one that's on our national team. She's not competing today, but they are fast and they will beat the boys. As a matter of fact, we had a benefit swim. We had a benefit swim last year. We had a 15-year-old that's in our junior run.
Yeah.
So listen, this event is finished. They're going to tabulate the scores, and it's going to take a minute or two, and we're going to move on to the paddle board relay race right after this break.
Good job, Tammy.
Thank you.
Good job, Heather.
Sunsplash Park, Daytona. Incident occurred on the 10. Tower CQ1, lifeguard in the water, responded outside when they got to Beach 40 Central. En route drowning and have fire roll close 3 at a time. Beach 23 Special, copy of water rescue. University approaching Daytona Beach. We got one guard in the water after 4.
We are not ordinary people. We know this. We run into the chaos when everybody else is running away.
the 2022 Interzone Lifeguard competition here on Volusia County's beaches. We have Volusia County Community Information televising this on live stream both on YouTube and Facebook from what I understand, and we just finished up the swim relay. They're tabulating the results right now. It's 16 swimmers. It's on a cross-country team type of format. So we're going to work right into the paddle relay.
And before we do that, though, I think Tammy may be able to get us a quick interview with the first place of the open swim winner, Ethan Doster. Tammy, do you have our number one winner there?
Yes, I do. I have him, and again, he won first place last year as well. I see that he's still been training, so we're going to talk to him a little bit. How do you feel?
Like I'm going to throw up.
You won last year as well.
Yeah, last year I had the nosebleed coming out. This year.
Okay, so what do you do? How many yards do you swim each day to train for this?
Well, I haven't been to practice in a few weeks, but when I do practice, it's like 6,000 to 7,000 yards a day.
Okay, you hear that? 6,000 or 7,000 yards a day. That's just crazy, insane.
Well, it looks like it paid
Anything
off.
else you want to add, Ethan?
I'm wearing a hot dog Speedo. That's what did it.
He's wearing a hot dog Speedo. Okay. Thanks, Ethan.
He's a hot dog, okay. We got a bright future with him. We'll see where he goes after he graduates from high school. It looks like we have the paddlers out on the course as well right now, and that's a specialty. Is going to really show what they got out there in this kind of chop. It's going to be hard to stay up on that board. Tammy, are they out on those boards yet?
You never know what they're going to show up
It
with.
looks like they have started. Yeah, Jack, tell us a little bit about the setup of this event, how it runs, who are we seeing in the water, how does it work?
The paddle relay, we shortened it just a little bit, but it's also going to be fan friendly. They don't go all at once though. It's one per district starting out, and it features some really top-notch newcomers and some really specialized veterans. But what they'll do is they'll start on the north side of the course, they'll paddle out to the green buoy, they'll make a right shoulder turn, they'll come in, they're coming in, they're going to come in into the beach, and when they do, they're going to hand off to the second man. Second man's going to reverse course, third man's going to reverse course, backtrack, and then the fourth man, of course, will finish at the checkered flags. I do believe they're going to use the M format as well. This is all new. Depends on how much time that it's taking up. They may have changed it. I'm not sure yet. They didn't get with me as far as the course designations go. But if it goes all planned, they're going to repeat the same course as the swimmers did to give the spectators a little bit of idea how the surf entries are done and how they control their boards. We'll see. But I can tell you that Ormond features one of the best paddlers that we have out here in Hunter Sweat, and that Sweat name might be familiar with you. He is the son of, well, let's say it, Kevin Sweat. Even though he didn't want me to, Kevin Sweat was our former beach director here for years, and he was a standout surfer and paddler himself, and actually traveled to Italy with our world team. And it also features Brian Cirio and Baker Pincero from Daytona. And Brian Cirio is he's also a firefighter over in Polk County. We're coming
Look
in.
at that wave. So a lot of this too, right, is timing, Jack. So going out is one thing, but catching a wave on the way back in really gives you an advantage. Tammy, are you getting the action?
Looks like we got New Smyrna, Kyle Troyan in first place in the paddle. He's been a guard with us for a very long time. He's also a firefighter full time. We got an Ormond guy in, and it looks like third place Dunlawton is coming in. That's great to see.
Kyle Troy and Tammy worked for me in New Smyrna when I was district supervisor down there, and from 2009 to 2014, his team was undefeated. Him and Jesse Dyer will also be featured with the Daytona team here. And like Kyle is an accomplished pilot. He's a paramedic with New Smyrna Fire, and his uncle and his dad were both Volusia County lifeguards back in the early 70s with me, and of course his uncle Tim Troyan, of course, was a EMS instructor out at Daytona State. But Kyle's top-notch surfer. He doubles up. He comes out and works for us on his days off. He mentors some of the younger guards, and he's a true talent.
We got a Daytona guard coming in now, Jacob Barb.
Jacob Barb.
Yeah, just around the purple flag. He's on his way back out.
So Jacob is the newbie out on this course as far as experience goes. So Daytona is keeping their more experienced, more professional paddlers as second, third, and fourth. So they're looks like they're giving up first place to start with, whereas some of them started with a speedier guard to get a lead out there. But you can see one wave can make all the difference, Kate.
It can. So different approaches to this event depending on how you want to tackle it. And then we also see different approaches in the water. So we see these competitors switch between being flat on their belly and using their arms to kneeling on their knees and kind of leveraging their core. Is there any strategy there, or is it just switching it up to kind of give different muscles a little bit of a break?
It's both. It's both. The strategy is one thing, but in this surf, you're going to see knee paddling at a minimum because the chop isn't allowing them to get that smooth speed and stability. On a flatter day, the knee paddling, they could go for days. They could go for miles. In the prone position, laying belly down is going to be a little bit more efficient for them, but at the same time, you're getting muscle groups a break. The lower back gets a break, believe it or not, on their belly, and then they go to the knees to stretch it out a little bit and give their shoulders a little bit more work, and then it goes vice versa.
You're right, Jack, absolutely. In this surf, it's really hard to knee paddle. It can be a lot faster, especially if you have that leg strength, and that's really important. I'm just looking at them now, and a lot of them are doing both right now, but in this surf, it's really hard to get on your knees, and it's been it's difficult with the surf and these waves right now and the wind.
Coming from an expert paddler, Tammy's been with our travel team for years, and of course these paddle boards are the sponge soft core boards that we use on our trucks. We train with those, so that's what they have to use in the competition. However, once they move on to the levels of regional competitions and nationals, they're using these exotic with knee well long boards that are terribly expensive, and Tammy's an expert. She's traveled all over the world. As a matter of fact, she traveled to Italy with Hunter Sweat's dad, Kevin, a few years ago with our world team. So what do you got, Tammy? You got some results for us from the
we're looking now. I'm seeing an Ormond guard coming in. I'm seeing a yellow cap first place. I'm seeing a pink cap, New Smyrna Beach second place right now. And this can come down to a wave, like you said, Jack. You can be in last place, and that wave can put you right into first.
Yeah, it looks like we're watching them catch one now.
We got them both on the same wave. One's knee, one's belly. Let's see which one gets in first.
Yeah, this is coming down to the
wire. It's really grueling when you get in and have to carry that board across the finish line. That may be the hardest part.
So they have board handlers on each end of the course, so there's going to be a transition to paddler number 2 here, and looks like Kyle Troyan from New Smyrna is coming in second place, with Ormond in the lead right now.
Ormond is in the lead. New Smyrna is in second place right now.
And as we have some of those handoffs, it looks like we've got our standings in from our first event, which was the open swim. So District 4 is currently in the lead with 10 points. That is our New Smyrna area. District 2, Ormond, and District 3, Daytona, are tied at 8 points each. So both tied for second at the moment. And then District 5, Dunlawton, is in fourth with 6 points, but really just very close and just one event down and so many more to go. So I think it's going to give us a pretty good preview of how tight this night might run and how close the final result is going to be, Jack.
Right. Second place tie so far is tight. New Smyrna winning the swim is big this year. Ormond has won the last 2 years. There's been a redistribution of talent this year. Every other year, the full-time employees get moved, and they get a first and second choice of which zone they transfer, and it's to break up stagnant and get them moved around and give them a different view. It's brutal working in this particular district year-round, so they give them a break and move them to Dunlawton or Ormond if they choose. And this year we've seen talent redistributed, so Ormond's not going to have some of the deep talent that they did, and it's evened up. And now we're already seeing that New Smyrna, some of their newer swimmers, have put them in the lead after the first event, whereas Ormond was in the lead after the first event last year. New Smyrna has a strong paddle team. They have a veteran paddle team as well in and Brad Goodrich, who also paddled for me back in the early 2000s on this very same team, and Ian Junkin, which is their team captain this year. He's a 5th-year guard. He's also going to be on this team. Of course, naturally, anybody that works in New Smyrna better come in with a surfboard. Everybody, every kid down there's specialty was skateboarding and surfing and being on the beach side. So it doesn't surprise me that they're in the run for winning the second event.
Well, and Jack, we're so used to, I think the iconic image you see in your head of a rescue is a tower guard grabbing their buoy and running into the water to help someone. But a lot of times with these paddle boards come into play as well, right? This is a regular part of the job.
Oh yeah, the paddleboard is a secondary form of rescue. However, they're on every truck, and a lot of rescues that are initiated from one of our roving units on the beach, one of our pickup trucks that you see, the red ones. If the distance seems to be far, that a board would be quicker and more effective, or if there's multiple victims, the board, of course, with the buoy is much more effective, and it can float several people at one time. And once you break through the surf line and the time that's consumed in getting the board off of the truck and the racks, once you get into the ocean with it, you're a lot faster than swimming.
Especially when you have multiple bathers out there in need of rescue.
Right, and the fact that as a secondary, a backup, if you will, piece of equipment, if a tower guard has already issued the buoy on the rescue with the victims, then the secondary or the backup personnel can decide what type of equipment they're going to use. And of course, the ones in the truck, they have a higher view. The rescue is unfolded a little bit more, and she can choose, or he can choose, to take the board if it so dictates.
All right, Jack, we got our first paddler coming in on this right here on the checkered flags.
Trying hard to catch a wave, it looks like, Tammy.
Yeah.
A little bit of helping at the end.
Oh, that's the most terrible feeling when you're that close and you can't catch a wave. That is a terrible feeling. Think he's getting it though.
But it pays to wait, as the second one did. He waited in the trough, and now it looks like he's going to have a wave double up, and he may reel in a little bit. Hopefully they don't lose their board. If they do lose their board, they can't advance. Without it, they have to regain their board, or just come to shore or swim to shore and leave the board and regather. Oh, over the falls he went, and he is, right as I spoke.
And I hate when that happens.
Off the board he went, and here comes another wave. Off the board he goes again, because he wasn't settled or centered on the board.
But it's,
another wave.
It's good to know when you get out there though too, and you start getting exhausted from paddling. It's even harder to stay on that board in this surf.
What color bathing cap was that, Tammy?
The first one was pink. We got yellow now coming in, an Orman. And it looks like the next one coming in will be a white cap Dunlawton.
So New Smyrna has maintained the lead.
Yes. Yeah, it looks like we got Dunlawton about to catch the wave.
Oh, again.
We can really see the exhaustion.
He stayed on it. Yeah, he stayed on it. It is exhausting. Like I said, the more you paddle in a race, the more exhausted you get, the harder it is to stay on that board, especially in these conditions.
Yeah, the trip out looks like it's going to be tricky too. With the waves breaking, you'll get a wall of white water, and you got to kind of time your prone and your knee paddling, because if you go up on your knees and you get a big wave break in front of you, you're going to lose your board, and it's going to eat up a lot of valuable time.
Yes. And I liked what you said, Jack, about sometimes it pays to wait. Sometimes, especially when you're coming in and you're exhausted, it pays to wait for that wave to just bring you all the way into shore.
Well, the guard in the white cap on the way out, or is that the pink cap? He looks exhausted from time to time. He's already buried his head on the foam board a couple of times and took a break. Because you arch your neck so you can see, and then if you're not up on your knees, the visibility comes and goes. So he was just resting his head for a minute because he has a comfortable lead, and to stay safe, he's going to just bide his time, because he's got a lead until he centers himself on that final buoy, and then he can make his way in. Then he's got momentum, and he's got the waves pushing him into shore, so it gets a little easier.
Yeah, and then now we got a Daytona guard coming in, a green cap. He looks like he's pretty exhausted too. These conditions are really rough out here.
It's a long way, and let's see, the tide is going to be about 8:20, 8:30 tonight, so the course is getting bigger. That's Brian Serio, it looks like, in the green cap from Daytona. He is our firefighter. He's 44 years old. His daughter is in the Flagler Beach Junior Lifeguards right now, and he came over to us from Polk County as a firefighter, decided to move to the East Coast. He and his wife and his daughter live up in Flagler, and he's stationed out of Daytona now. He's been a big asset to our group here.
Maybe in a few years we'll have a little friendly father-daughter competition going on.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
He's one of our top officers too. He's a great officer. He's well-rounded. He does all aspects of the job. He also works part-time somewhere else, so he's very dedicated to life-saving.
And he's tired, I can tell you that. It's hard. They want to sprint, and it's not a sprint at this point, and it's a war against the waves. I mean, like I said, with the tide coming in, the course is getting longer and longer.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to pace themselves.
And not to mention some of these, especially the one that just came through, Brian Serio. He has been working since 7 this morning out here on the beach doing his regular job, and just had to switch out of clothes real quick to come compete. So that's it's pretty dedicated.
Really, kudos to these guys who sit out here, and I mean, the sun takes it out of you, and the rescues, and ensuring the safety of our beachgoers all day long, and then to take off that work hat and put on the competitor cap is definitely a challenge, and one they deserve to be recognized for.
Right. Tammy, have you seen Joey Rafferty from Dunlawton on the paddle yet?
Yeah, he was the one that went out. You were talking about a little while ago. He was exhausted as well. He's in a white cap, and I believe he went out 3rd place.
Now, Joey was with us for 23 years, part-time, and he's also with Daytona Beach Fire Department. And he comes with us wherever we go. When we travel to regionals, he always trades his time out with the fire department, and he just can't get it. It's in his blood, just like with me, and he just comes out and competes. He tries to train as much as possible, and most of the time when he is here, this time of the year, he prefers Ponce Inlet. He loves it down there. So his off days from the fire department is sort of a decompression, but at the same time, he just loves to come out and compete.
Absolutely, and we put him down there in that Ponce Inlet control tower, which that can be a very grueling place to be. It's very serene and quiet most of the time, but when things happen there, it's usually something that you need a lot of experience there.
Right. The control tower at Ponce Inlet is a beautiful place if you've ever been up there, Kate. The scenery is breathtaking. You can look at Shark Shallows in New Smyrna, beautiful Ponce Inlet. Over your shoulder is the lighthouse, and of course you have the boats constantly coming in and out of the inlet going into the Intercoastal Waterway all day long. They're stationed there generally with an ATV and a jet ski as well, because when things go bad, if the current is going south instead of like it is right now north, you have about 3,000 feet of granite that you have to deal with when it comes to surfers, boaters, and swimmers. So it can be dicey. It can certainly be dicey. So we like a lot of experience there.
Well, and how lucky are we to have these individuals who are so dedicated to continue to be part of the team for so many years and really have such passion and joy in their job that they want to be out here doing this. It sounds like they have other opportunities, but choose still to continue to come back and help us out and make sure people stay safe just because they really love it.
We do. We have a lot of school teachers from time to time, and of course because it's ideal they have the summer times off, and then firefighters is also perfect for us if their agency allows to have them come out. But our biggest asset, of course, is our school systems. The colleges, even locally here, Embry-Riddle sends us some really good talent, and most of them we don't get for very long. But we like to get them at 16 as far as high school students, so we get them into the employment for at least a couple of years, and then hopefully into their collegiate years if they choose to do so. We get them as they come back. We'll keep them on the payroll, and they can just come back and jump right in, pass their requirements, their swim requirements, and we keep them. Ideally, it would be a little bit longer, but nowadays schools have so many programs in the summertime, and whether it's sports or whether it's getting college acceptance. University of Florida, I know, does it now. They might not accept you in the fall, but if you come in during the summer A and B term, then they'll get you in the fall, and it keeps their buildings full instead of a college campus being empty year round. So we kind of fight against those things. The kids got to make a decision to get into a school or into a sports program, then we may lose them. But we do the best we can, and once they get through it, we've got a ton of college graduates now on our payroll, and it's really great. We've got some really smart full-time employees.
Well, and I always say, is there a better office view than from a lifeguard chair? I mean, there's so many things about it. It is a challenging job. It can be hard, but you hear from people, it's so rewarding. It's such a great experience. It looks wonderful on a resume, that teamwork and the dedication and the commitment and the responsibility. We're so lucky to have these students that choose to spend their summers with us, and so many times we hear that they really gain so much from it, as much as we gain from them.
Right. Resumes are important too. You know, it was funny, I was talking to a couple of guards that got into college last year, and they put on their entrance application that they worked here, and they said it kind of made the difference. And they also, with that and some community service that they did around here with our Volusia Surf Life Saving Association, it made a difference. And we try and teach them discipline, accountability, as well as the responsibility. And believe it or not, you know, being employed here carries a lot of weight. Even if they move to a different venue as far as employment as a lifeguard, we got lifeguards all over the country that came from here, and when you put on your resume to apply, whether it's LA County Beach Safety or Honolulu Beach Patrol, we have a couple of former guards here, Matt Gadul, it gets them in the door, and they excel. They really excel. What do we got, Tammy?
We got New Smyrna still in the lead, Jack. We have, it looks like Goodrich coming in.
Brad Goodrich.
He's a third paddler for New Smyrna Beach. Now we're going to transition to the fourth paddler.
Brad still has it. He's getting up there. He's got a daughter now, too. He's up in his 40s. And he does a little insurance business now, but the Goodrich family from New Smyrna, yeah, that's the Goodrich family. Both him and his brother Jag, who worked for us back in the early 2000s, really excelled with us, and Brad still has the paddle in it. He's good. The older guys have the experience as far as the rough surf goes, so it shows that Brad held on to the lead.
Absolutely. He, I don't know if you saw him go in, but that was fast. That was really fast, his first leg.
He's done the run relay, the 4x100. We were so deep in the paddles with Jesse Dyer and Kyle Troyan and those guys back in the day. He also opted out and ran the 4x100 for us a couple of seasons too.
Yeah, he just looks strong. I mean, watching him come in and then go back out even, he was not slowing down there, was he, Tammy? He was just ready to get back out.
Oh, he was ready to get back down. He did not look exhausted at all, which is that's a great sign. That means he's been training, and the surf is getting bigger and it's getting more rough out here. If you can see it, it's by the minute. So they're dealing with these conditions, which are fine. These are the conditions we deal with on a daily basis when we have to make real live rescues.
Now, Tammy, is this our fourth leg or our third leg?
That's our third leg.
Okay.
Yes. So we'll be once these guys come in, we'll be on our fourth leg of the paddle relay.
Okay. And of course, our next event's going to be up on the beach. It's going to be a 4x100 run relay, both men's and women's. We'll see how much room the tide allows us. It's going to be sort of in a semi-soft sand format. It'll be down 50 yards and back 50 yards, and they'll be carrying a buoy as a baton to hand off. And that's fan-friendly.
We got Dunlop caught a wave. Good job.
And now, Jack, remind us with the paddle relay, how does the scoring go for this one?
The scoring is going to go the same as it did with the swim, but not in, of course, it's not going to be a cross-country accumulation of points per swimmer. It's going to be 10 points for first place, 8 points for second, 6 for third, and 4 for fourth. So it's going to start stretching out here as far as the lead goes. If New Smyrna takes this one, and it looks like they've got first place in hand right now. It's gonna be hard to catch up now with this kind of surf. They can stretch their lead immensely if they get one big wave in and separate them from second, third, and fourth.
So we'll see how that shapes up, or if one of these other districts gets a couple good waves, maybe they're really right back on their heels and right behind them, and has an opportunity to kind of catch back up and take the lead, because 10 points for anyone would be the lead.
Yes. I know Ormond has a good young team.
We got sorry, Jack. We got Jesse Dyer coming in now, going around the purple flag. He's sergeant in Daytona.
Right. Jesse, now, so what place does that put Daytona in? Third or fourth in the paddle right now?
I believe they're third in the paddle right now, Jack.
Okay, we'll see how Jesse does. He's a father now. Ariel, his daughter, likes to surf too. And Jesse was also, like I said, a real good surfer in New Smyrna. In fact, he was a semi-professional surfer when he, as a youngster, at 16, 15 years old. He had sponsors back then, and when he came to work for us, he kind of let some of that go. But he has been a paddler for New Smyrna. We won, I think, 5 years in a row the paddle race in New Smyrna as the Interzone champs. And now he's up in Daytona. So see, like I said, there's a redistribution of talent. Now, is it too late for him to win? Probably so, but is it too late for him to maybe capture a second place? Maybe not. He's a real good waterman, and we'll just see if he can make up any time.
And we can really see with this shot the way the current and the waves are kind of pulling and tugging at these guys, and just really changing the direction of where they're going.
Right, they're bushed. The wind is picking up a little bit. Hopefully we're not going to get any weather out here. It's just made it a little darker for our drone to see. And kudos to the drone operators as well, because it's windy out there, and for them to stay stable, I don't know how they do it. That's above my pay grade. But they're really giving us a great bird's eye view.
They are. These are great shots to be able to see these competitors out in the open water like this. It really gives you a close-up view of what's happening, so that we can see every bit of the race.
All right, Jack, we have the third leg, first place right now. Just caught a wave, New Smyrna Beach.
Yeah, so they're going to stretch. They're going to stretch the lead.
Good job, Brad Goodrich.
And their handler takes the board, and the handler is allowed to move the board over to the starting grid to be ready for the fourth paddler right now. The handlers are allowed, and they just stage. They're not allowed to assist distance-wise. They just stage and hold the board so it doesn't wash away, so the next final paddler in this case can take over and start working his way through the surf line. Big wave. He's going to get crushed in this one. Oh, made it through. He fell off, but he didn't lose his board.
And typically they put the most experienced paddlers last as the anchor in this paddle relay. So New Smyrna is really looking good right now.
So is this Ian Junkin on the paddle? Do you know? Or is
I couldn't tell, Jack.
It probably is. He's their team captain as well. It depends. It's strategic. Sometimes they put their fastest one out front in this kind of surf line, because then once they get a large distance between them and second place,
yes,
it's a huge advantage.
That's correct. It's all strategy.
Now you can see, this is a nice shot, Tammy. You can't see it, but our drone is hovering to his south, so you can see the skyline of Daytona Beach and the Daytona Pier in the background, and the old casino. So it gives you an idea where we're located for those folks that are tuning in from different places around the country. You can get an idea where we're located. Yeah, the pier's still here. We're still the site of many competitions in the past. We hosted world championships here. We've had national champions here starting in 1982 and with Dave Dickinson, God rest his soul. And we've carried on a big tradition here as far as top grade competitions, and we like hosting them because we have such a big venue. We can host them.
Well, yeah, this is a great location, and I also think our area is unique, and our beach safety division is unique in the fact that they're triple certified. A lot of people don't realize that we have so many different levels of experience here, and that many of our staff out here are law enforcement officers and are able to serve so many different purposes and help so many different people in so many ways.
Right. Fitness, of course, is foremost because the guys have to be expected to get rid of their law enforcement apparel at a moment's notice. Everybody you see in a lifeguard truck or on an ATV or even out on a jet ski has been trained in ocean rescue. Every one of those guys that are law enforcement are also emergency medical technicians and ocean rescue. So anytime there's an emergency, whether they got a traffic stop going on or whatever they might be responding to, it's always going to be life over law first. So we got the finishers coming in, right, Tammy?
Yeah, we're still looking at some of the third leg relay team members coming in. When you see a pink cap coming in, that will be the winner of this paddle relay. I think they're in the lead by a long shot here, so I think that New Smyrna may have this, but you never know. You never know.
We still have a fourth leg waiting at the starting line, it looks like. Is that Baker Pincero?
Yes, we do have some that are still waiting at the starting line, and we do have some that are out already.
Okay. I see, it looks like Baker Pincero waiting to go on the fourth leg. That's not a good feeling, folks. He knows he doesn't have any chance to win, but he's still going to put it out. He's one of 4 Pinceros that are on our payroll. Emma, his sister, we'll see her, they're twins. We'll see them, we'll see her compete both in beach flags and the 4x100 here. Hunter, her twin brother, is injured right now, dislocated shoulder, practicing for beach flags. So we won't see him. He's out there helping tonight. And then we have even a younger, I forget her name, forgive me now, that she started with us this year, and she's, I do believe she's helping with the junior lifeguards this year as well. But yeah, 4 in one family, which is awesome. When we can get siblings, it's an awesome situation. We have several sets, and but Hunter and Emma were co-lifeguards of the year in 2019.
Oh wow!
So they're not only twins and lifeguards, but they're outstanding employees.
New Smyrna just got a wave. Looks like New Smyrna pink cap. We got a first place in the paddle relay. Yes.
He's got to carry the board over. He's number 4, so he's going to carry the board over.
He's still got to go back out on his last leg.
This is his last in and out now.
It looks like that recognition, though, maybe gave him a little extra energy there.
It's going to be hard to beat him, but you never know. If you get someone close and they catch that wave, you never know.
Or if he loses his board.
You could lose your board. Like I said, they're getting exhausted, and it gets harder for them to stay on that board and be efficient in paddling.
And it looks like we have a white cap coming in now, Tammy.
Yep, we got Dunlawton coming in now.
For their 4th.
And come on, what's it go? That's their 3rd. They still have their 4th paddler.
They still have their 4th as well?
Yes. The conditions really picked up. It's taken them a little bit longer than we expected due to the surf and wind conditions.
And you can see the handler he had to wait on to get the board over. He had to go retrieve the board, which is hard. The handler is a big part. They've got to run through knee-deep water, dragging this board over to the staging position for the next start.
Yeah, and as we go on, the tide is coming in, so the course is getting a little bit longer.
Right. So Tammy, do the team captains are starting to assemble their 4x100 teams, so we can get that underway?
Yeah, we'll go over there in just a few minutes once we get our first place winner in, and the last leg of the paddle relay. We'll be starting our 4x100, which is a very exciting event.
And it's fast.
It's very fast. It doesn't take long at all.
Doesn't take long.
And with that, we have a men's team and a women's team for each district that'll compete. So we'll get to see 2 different kind of heats there, right?
Oh yeah, you'll see the women will go first, and then the men's. They'll each have a yellow buoy that they have to exchange. They'll go up the beach 50 yards, go around a cone without knocking the cone over. That's a foul. And then back to the exchange, where they have to have a clean exchange, and they can drop it, but they can advance, and then and they'll go through their 2nd, 3rd, and 4th and it's usually very close, and you usually have to film it to determine who's placed where.
So our buoy is really like our baton in a traditional relay. We've replaced that with a more appropriate beach safety item.
we have, and on the regional and national level, they use a piece of hose. It's just like a stick in a high school or a college event, but it's soft. It's hose in case they drop it or whatever, and it's a little bit more flexible. But yeah, for visual effects.
It really sets the feel and the theme a little bit better, doesn't
Right.
it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that's what they run with when they're going on a rescue. So it kind of makes sense that they use a buoy, and it's kind of cumbersome. It's kind of hard to run down the beach after you've disembarked off of a tower. You've called it in on the radio. Now you're climbing off the red lifeguard tower. Now you're grabbing the buoy. At the same time, we're instructed to always keep an eye on the bather you're going after. And then you're running down the beach with this buoy, and you're sidestepping frisbees, footballs, sandcastles, tents, umbrellas, chairs, and an occasional somebody sticks a leg out in front of you to trip because they don't exactly understand what you're doing, and then enter the water without angling too bad to find your victim. It's tough. So carrying the buoy without tripping over the strap and the rope that it's attached to can be difficult, and it happens at least once or twice a summer. The guard gets a wrap of the rope, the buoy line around their ankle or a toe, and down they go, and they have to continue. They have to continue on the rescue.
Well, and I've seen you don't always have a rescue right in front of your tower either. So a lot of times these individuals are jumping off of their tower, and they might be running 50, 100,
or more,
150 feet to their north or south before they're even able to enter the water and go in after the bather they're rescuing. So really a challenging experience.
It is, and we emphasize swimming as far as our requirements go, and then of course they run the half mile in under 3 minutes and 15 seconds. But when it comes to a rescue, some of the people that come to us, they're not the superstar swimmers. So their attention to their bathers and the safety is less of a window.
Sorry, Jack. Don't mean to interrupt. We have the winner of the paddle relay coming in now. Caught
There's
a wave.
Brad Goodrich in the blue shorts. I see that.
Caught a wave. Apparently, he's very skilled on the craft.
All those kids are new Smyrna. They're surfers.
Just showing off a little bit now, Tammy, huh?
There you go.
So we have two vets. He's got to play the wheel board.
That board, that's one of the most grueling parts is carrying that board across
The
that
wind's
finish
grabbing
line.
it. The wind's grabbing it. You got Kyle Troyan and Brad Goodrich there bringing in.
And it looks like we have New Smyrna as the paddle relay winners.
Yep, Ian Junkin, Brad Goodrich, Kyle Troyan. Good job, you guys, and Dustin Shaw.
Maybe, Tammy, give him a minute or two to catch their breath, and you can grab a quick interview with them so we can hear a little bit about their strategy and how they prepared for this.
Okay, here they are, Kate. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Let me hear Kyle.
All right, guys, listen. I want to know what your strategy is going out there. Who'd you put in first place? Who'd you put in last place? Tell me about it.
So our first was Kyle. He just has more experience. He's been here longer.
Okay.
Our goal overall was to keep the cushion as big as possible for the last person. You never know what's going to go wrong out there. So even though I was second, I tried to give Brad biggest lead as we could. He tried to give him the biggest lead as he could, and that's how it worked. And we obviously did really well.
What was the strategy behind that?
Keep going.
Yeah.
Don't mess it up. Yeah.
You guys did a great job. It was amazing. You guys looked great out there.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I'm proud of the old guys. Kyle and Brad in the middle there. They're still in great shape. I'm really happy they've stayed fit after all these years, and they still wish to participate. They don't get to work a whole lot as much as they want because they have other obligations, and they're raising families and whatnot, and they don't have the time. But if they can come and give us a few days every month, then we're happy to have them.
Well, and I'm sure that their team is happy to have them tonight after pulling out that victory. I mean, they had a pretty substantial lead from the beginning, and they held on to it. So they knew what they were doing, and they did it right.
You bet. When I saw Brad Goodrich on the roster for the paddle, I kind of raised my eyebrows. Didn't know he was still at it, but obviously that kid's cut, and he still got it. So congrats for those guys. Kudos.
And it looks like we have some more competitors coming in, trying to catch them at the end, give them a little bit of an extra boost.
Yeah, it's choppy. It's wave after wave. It's ugly. It's windy. It's hard. They're tired, And he didn't read the rule book. He didn't read the rule book. The last one has to carry. And here's another thing. These softboards, they have handles on them. You can see where they're handling those. We've had accidents where the wave will catch that tail of that board and actually twist the handle, that neoprene handle, and it will injure your hands severely. We had a couple years ago degloved, where he lost the skin of his finger, and on a rescue, yeah.
It looks like
so you can see where the
Hunter
neoprene
Sweat
handle is.
came in, just came
Hunter
across
Sweat,
the finish
there he is.
line. Hunter Sweat. Great
Not
job,
happy.
Hunter.
We're lucky to have Hunter. He's with the juniors right now. Hunter Sweat, of course, I mentioned who his dad is, but who he is state champion at Seabreeze High School soccer team. He got a scholarship to Appalachian State to play soccer. I'm sorry. He did a couple of years at App State. Wanted to be closer to home. He's kicking for Stetson University this year on the football team.
Wow, what a great story.
Place kicker for Stetson. And he was just offered a job with us full-time when he gets his degree in December. So it's a win-win for us. He's a great athlete. He's a wonderful person. He's so unselfish, so affable. I mean, he is as friendly as he can be. Nice guy, dedicated. I asked him, I said, hey, does that football coach know you're down here working? He goes, that's why I'm doing juniors. The risk of injury is a little bit minimal at juniors, and he loves the kids that he's working with. So we've got him. He's worked some of our busiest towers in summers past, but this year, since he's going out on the football field this fall, to roll an ankle right now wouldn't be a good idea. So good for you. Good to see you out there, Hunter.
So Tammy, was that our second place team that came in? Was that our last competitor for Ormond?
Yeah, that was our last competitor for Ormond, second place team. It looks like we've got our third place team. Baker Pinciero right now coming in.
There's
Daytona
Baker.
Beach, yes.
Emma's little brother played baseball at Seabreeze High School. He's an EMT now. Went to Daytona State. He's going to be an EMT. Still doesn't know exactly what he wants to do. Going to nursing. Emma, I'll mention her in a little while. She's going to be a teacher. She graduates in December. But Baker's just a great guy here. He didn't read the rule book, and somebody's not yelling at him on his team. Better get that team captain. I think he's got to go get that board. I'm not sure, Tammy.
They're down here, and they didn't make him go back, so I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Okay, I would.
Maybe that was the. We still have powers out there, so.
Okay.
I don't know what that does for.
I would go find the board just because we got to have it back anyway. But I'm not sure. Maybe I know on the regional and national level, you got to get that board back across the start-finish line. But maybe they're in no hurry since Dunlop is still out in the water. But as long as it crosses the plane of the checkered flags by a handler, I guess it's going to be okay.
Okay, I guess the ruling is they don't have to bring that board across the finish line.
Okay.
I think there was some confusion on that. The first couple did, but it's not necessary.
Okay. Well, let's remind those guys to get ready because here comes the fourth guy in from the paddle. Let's get
this
that.
Is a great wave he's getting.
Too bad they didn't get 4 of those.
He's probably happy to have this event.
It looks like we got District 5 coming in now, Brandon Stanley. And I think that wraps up the paddle relay, Jack and Kate.
Excellent. One of the best waves I saw all night. It was the very last wave so far. Okay, let's get those runners going so we don't lose daylight. Let's get those 4x100 ladies teams stationed. And there's Joey Rafferty with Daytona Beach Fire Department, who's also on Dunlop's team.
Well, that was a great event. While we get set up for the next one, we'll prepare for the relays. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back to watch those men and women's 4x100 relays.
Okay, hurry.
We are Volusia County Beach Safety. We're here to serve Volusia County's 47 miles of unique coastline. You know, Volusia County beaches. Yeah, those beaches. But also these beaches. We have millions of visitors every year, and we work around the clock to keep our beaches safe and beautiful. And you can help!
I'm near a staff lifeguard tower.
Pick up your trash and fill holes. Identify, avoid, and escape rip currents.
Please leave the beach cleaner than you found it.
Look out for one another and keep an eye on kids, especially near the traffic lane and in the water. Pets are allowed at our 2 pet-friendly beaches, Lighthouse Point Park and Smyrna Dunes Park.
If you see something, say something.
A clean and safe beach guarantees fun in the sun for everyone. Thank you for doing your part to keep Volusia County beaches beautiful.
See you at the beach!
Make the most of your day at the beach. Download the Volusia County Beaches app today. Sign up for real-time notifications on vehicle ramp openings and closings. Find staffed lifeguard towers. Get updates on tides and beach conditions, plus off-beach parking and coastal parks info. The Volusia County Beaches app is available for your smart devices at the App Store and Google Play.
We have the women lined up for the 4x100, so it sounds like we just started and we're off.
And they're off. The 4x100 is going to go, we're going to have Orman as the favorite. You're going to have Caroline Leidecker, who's wicked fast soccer player up at college. And
Looks like we got 4 in lead right now. New Smyrna's in lead right now.
New Smyrna has some fast girls, and this transitions into fast beach flags competitors as well. Looks like we may have had a drop can.
And this is soft sand. This is real soft sand this year.
Yeah, this is soft sand. It's treacherous. There's a lot of holes.
Looks like we got New Smyrna still in lead.
And this is such a fast event. It's such an exciting one to watch.
It won't take long. This looks like Grace Schumann in Daytona starting to reel in on lane 1 closest to water's edge. She'll be in the blue top with the yellow bottoms. She's reeling in.
Looks like New Smyrna's in first, Daytona's in second.
There's Emma Pincero
in third and Orman in fourth.
It looks like really the competition for first place has closed up a lot between. Even Daytona might be in the lead. Is
Daytona has. It's Emma Pincero.
They pulled it out. Daytona.
She's been training with Grace.
Emma Pincero. We got New Smyrna second, Orman third, and Dunlawton fifth.
So Daytona really took.
Yeah, you had
Smyrna had that lead, and Daytona took it.
Yeah, you had Emma Pincero just take the lead. She's a beast.
Emma's been training for weeks now. She's getting ready to graduate. She's going to be a teacher here. She's at Daytona State right now. She's been with us 7 years, and she can do anything out here. She's big help in the recruit training class. She's a big help in the station as far as helping with dispatching or scheduling or whatever you need. She is just great.
And if she's a teacher, maybe we'll get to keep her during the summer a little bit when she has some off time.
Oh, you bet. You bet. We better. We better.
Looks like the guys are lining up. We got Orman closest to us. We got Orman.
Dunlawton looks like Derek Taylor.
It looks like Orman, New Smyrna Beach, Dunlawton, and Daytona.
I know we got Derek Taylor running for Dunlawton. He's a sergeant down there. He's 32 years old, played football at college.
And this first leg is close. We'll see how they navigate the turn. All really neck and neck.
Oh, we got a fall. Looks like New Smyrna fell.
He found a hole.
New Smyrna fell. We have Daytona in the lead.
That's unfortunate for New Smyrna. Hopefully he's going to be okay.
New Smyrna fell. He got back up and kept going though. Got Daytona in the lead. We got Dunlawton second, Orman third, and New Smyrna fourth.
And Daytona's trying to stretch that lead.
That looks like James Eleanor running for Daytona right now. His dad was
Daytona still in the lead.
Deputy Sheriff.
Dunlawton in second place. We got Orman in third place, and it looks like New Smyrna in fourth.
And looks like Gavin Ziegler is running the anchor.
Gavin Ziegler is the anchor. Looks like we got
a Beach Flags champion last year as well.
Dunlawton second place. Orman third.
So New Smyrna had a fall and get the 10 points this time. Daytona won both the men's and the women's. So things are starting to get interesting.
That is always unfortunate when you fall or you drop that baton. I've done this event so many times. That's your biggest fear during this event is dropping that baton or falling.
Well, and we could really see sand is down there right now and how difficult it is to navigate in that turn.
Oh, absolutely. We've had soft sand issues for the last few months, and they had to run in it tonight, and it's not easy.
We need a couple high tides to start packing that sand back down for us.
Yeah, or a storm, but not a big storm.
Yeah, you're not allowed to say that during the season. I mean, you know better than that.
Not a big one.
So that was fast and exciting, you guys, and now we're going to get into a different event, the Medley Relay. The Medley Relay is going to be the last water event of the day. It starts out with a swim, and then it'll this course. He tags skin to skin to a beach 400 yards, and then he'll run back 400 yards. Then he'll tag to the rescuer. Now the rescuer will be going out to a buoy line where victims will be stationed. And the victims, usually good kickers, usually lightweight, usually small, they'll be handed a buoy, and the rescuer with fins are optional, but if you're smart, you're going to be using swim fins, swim back to shore, not losing contact. The victim is allowed to use their feet and kick. Rescuer has fins, victim does not. They have to finish across the line together. They cannot separate, like if a wave breaks over, they cannot separate. If they do, they cannot advance until they reconnect. This should be interesting. Most of the teams look like they stacked. They stacked their specialists in this event. I knew New Smyrna did.
And this is really a great combination of kind of all of the different skill sets put together between, we can see the paddle and the swim and the run, combining all of those best ofs and putting them together. And it sounds like we're getting ready to get started out there. We're really moving things along.
Yeah, they needed to, and if I could, we could talk about some of them. I know one of the featured swimmers is going to be out of New Smyrna. It's going to, of course, he started with me 14 years ago in New Smyrna. He's been on a lot of my teams. He went to Sarasota County Beach Patrol 7 years ago, came back, I should say 9 years ago, came back 2 years ago, had babies, had Ruby and had Lucy and just had Ruby. He's got 2 little girls now. He's full-time officer. He's going to be a featured swimmer. He's probably going to start for New Smyrna. Anchoring New Smyrna's team is going to be Tom McGivney. Tom McGivney's 48. He started with Spruce Creek, swam under the tutelage of coach, and now world manager for the Raising 3 Kids. His wife Mindy was also a captain with us. She was a national competitor with worldwide. Tom has been training night and day. He's got, I don't know if they're here tonight, but now he's got 4. He's got a relay team.
Well, excited to see. I think you've mentioned Lucy Noble.
Lucy Noble's in her her second summer. She swims with Hydra 4 out of Ormond Beach. Hydra 4 swim team, top 20 team in the country, top club team in the country. Hydra 4. She's one of the fastest swimmers we got. She comes from Flagler Pond. We're lucky we've got her as opposed to Flagler County. Sorry about your luck. But she is outstanding. She was on the winning team. We just hosted a competition here about 3 weeks ago, the Jacksonville Beach Relays. Jack's Beach couldn't have it. They asked, could we host it? They'll show if we host it. And we put up a course next to the Main Street Pier that attracted 11 different beach patrols. We had 2 teams. Lucy was on our A team, and of course they won. And she is a talent. She's came to us as a swimmer, but now she's picking up some of the other events as well. 17 years old, one of the fastest swimmers we got, and I mean, she's got the best attitude in the world. Also on Ormond's team is Seth Augustinowski. Seth is in his, I think he's in his 4th year. He was a junior lifeguard, and his dad, unfortunately, and I'd like to say a couple things about him. His dad, Bob Augustinowski, passed away from COVID last year. And while Seth was away at school, his dad became ill, and Augie, as we knew him, he didn't make it. But Seth is in spirit with his dad here. He runs for Florida Southern over in Lakeland. Got a scholarship with cross country. Went over there. He ran both with Seabreeze and Father Lopez. He's going to be doing their quarter-mile run. So we'll see if Lucy and Seth can get Ormond back in the game, because right now they're in trouble.
Yeah, this will be an exciting event. Looking forward to seeing our swimmers get out there. And this is a mixed event, so co-ed. We've got a kind of good mix of competitors here, so getting to see both the men and the women excel.
Right. Daytona. has a team too. I can't be leaving out Daytona. Their swimmers are going to be tough to beat as well. We'll just see how good that Troy and Tom will hold up in the in their swim portions of it. But I guarantee you they're going to be tough to beat. But swimming for Daytona is Dave Carrig. Dave Carrig is in his I think he's 50 now. He was the chief at the Coast Guard station, Ponce Inlet.
Okay.
He swam competitively in college. He swam masters with Coach Steve Lochte at Port Orange Y. He retired after his stint with he's been all over the country, but his last 2 years were, of course, with Ponce Inlet Station, Coast Guard. He's going to be leading off for Daytona. He teaches at Seabreeze High School, so he's all over the place. So Dave's going to be leading it off. Clayton DeBrule is also going to be out there in the paddle. Clayton DeBrule is one of our traveling team specialists. He was a junior lifeguard since he was 9 years old. He's been with us forever. His dad worked for us forever. His dad's a paramedic in Port Orange. His uncle Matthew was with us for years. He was with our traveling team. He's been with Honolulu Beach Patrol for 20 years.
Oh wow, that's a big move.
Oh yeah, it's a big move. He went out there.
And looks like we've got our first swimmers lining up, and while they do, we will give you a recap and an update on the standings so far. So after our 4x100 event, so this is going to include our open swim, our paddle relay, and our 4x100 event. It is pretty close at this point. District 3rd place with 34 points. We've got District 4, New Smyrna, right behind them with 32. District 2, Ormond at 28. And District 5, Dunlawton at 22. So really still relatively close. Daytona's really out there, but it's still not a guaranteed win. And we've got into the water for our medley.
Right. So you'll see the one in the green is Dave Carrig. He's the older of the bunch. He's taking a longer distance on land, so he's not carried too far north with the current. He should make up some of that space. He is the oldest one. He's coming off of some injuries, and we'll just see how well he does. I think Lucy is swimming the lead for the want to make a difference. So again, there's no lines on the bottom here. There is some current. It's getting dark. It's hard to see. The waves are getting bigger, so it's going to be close. If my predictions go as I thought they were going to go, it's going to be New Smyrna Daytona. If it is, it's going to be 10 points and 8 points respective. That's going to put them in a tie.
And it'll come down to beach flags.
As
like
it does.
Sometimes always does.
As it does.
Which
every
makes
year.
that event so exciting. I really think that's part of what makes the event so exciting is it manages, and the competition is exciting. Stay close, and everyone can feel like they're in it until the very end.
Right. It's going to be close. Dave Carrig is probably going to catch up a little bit, but they've got a second man in line in Mr. DeBrule that is probably one of our best paddlers. One person we're not seeing out on the course tonight is A.J. Miller, and A.J. Miller got a promotion, so he doesn't represent a district anymore, but he is the course coordinator. He sets up the courses as a profession as well, and he is probably our best athlete, hands down, national ranked. He can do anything: Ironman, paddle, row, run, swim. He's not in anything, whereas the last couple of years he would have been in this event. So that little piece of the riddle is gone. It's not missing. It's just gone. He's not in it this year, so he's out of the equation. But you can see these people are relatively close right now.
And we do, you've mentioned before some of this new talent. So as much as there are these professionals who have done this for years and are so great and excel in their different categories, we also have this new talent we get to see. Like you mentioned Lucy Noble, who's in, I think you said, her second year and is really out there with the best of them and getting to watch some of these new people develop.
Right. It looks like Troy Knopp from New Smyrna in the pink, if that's who they stayed with. Sometimes they'll shuffle people around they're not supposed to. The information we got there that Troy would be starting for them. He's in the pink hat, and he is keeping an eye on Lucy to his right in the yellow cap from Ormond. So It looks like though the drift has given a little bit of the advantage to the yellow cap because she's kind of pushing him off course a little bit. So we'll just see how this works out. Trying to get the turn on the inside lane, if you will, kind of gives you an advantage. And see, it's going to be a left shoulder turn. So see, she pushed him north. So he's off course, and she got around the buoy. So, and now he tucked under. He got around the anchor line, which is fine. But and she swung wide a little bit. So Troy is probably using a landmark like the building with his experience, and he's less dependent than she is as far as a pool goes, because she's zoned in a pool, you know, because that's what she's been training to do. She's hours in the pool, both with her school and her club. Troy is now transitioned from pool swimming. He even swam at Daytona State there last year that they had a team, to ocean only. So he's more of a waterman in the ocean. So she's more youth orientated. She's more speed. She's probably got more yardage on him than in the last year or so. But as far as the waterman and acclimating to these horrific conditions, he's probably got the edge.
Well, and this shot can really show how close they are. They are really neck and neck right here.
Yes.
With the other competitors not too far behind them, which just because they don't come in first here doesn't mean they can't pick up some time in one of the other events they have.
Correct. Like I mentioned, Dave Carrick, the old salt from the Coast Guard station, he took a long out on the run. However, he's taking a difference. That makes a big difference. You know, you're swimming a further difference when you swerve right and then trying to correct yourself. So he's not too far behind him. There's room for DeBrule to catch up some time when it gets to the paddle.
And as they get into these breaks, maybe a little bit of an opportunity for a wave to give you a little bit of a extra push here as we coming in closer to shore. Tammy, how's it looking down there?
They're getting closer, Kate. I want to repeat what Jack said. This comes down a lot to just experience in the ocean. You have to be a great swimmer, and these are all great swimmers, but the pool is way different than the ocean. You have the surf, you have the currents, that you have to read that before you go in. And all these competitors out there are great swimmers right now, but I think it comes down to experience in the ocean right now. These conditions are pretty rough, and we'll see. I mean, they've all had experience in the ocean, some more than others, so we'll see. And catching that wave in.
Correct. It looks like the swimmer to the north, which might be Troy Knopp, I'm not sure.
It's a New Smyrna guard.
Yeah, he's in the rip. See, he's working in New Smyrna. He doesn't know about this rip, that current that formed at the base of the approach, and you can tell that Lucy came south and circumnavigated that bad area, as well as the white cap from Ormond.
We got Lucy coming in first here. Looks like she's going to be the first run around this purple flag here. And she's been training a lot. She's going to regionals.
Well, we're lucky to get to see, I mean, all of these competitors, but some of these competitors that are going to go on to regionals and nationals, to get to watch them tonight and get to experience some of the talent they have.
Yep, and there's Troy Knott from New Smyrna in second, but Lucy, did you see her coming out of the water? She's not just a swimmer anymore. She was stepping over those 1 foot waves, running to the finish line with ease. It didn't look like she was tired at all.
You can tell that she has been training in the ocean.
And so Tammy, now as these competitors come in, they're transitioning to their paddle.
Yeah, we're doing the paddle board now. So these usually are the best of the best paddlers. It just depends on your strategy going into the competition between your paddle relay and this medley.
Now you'll see the personal watercraft. That's one of our guys out there operating. It's not easy. He's running out victims now for the last leg, for the rescue. So he's going to be staging victims. I'm not sure who that victim is in the white cap, but they're going to be out on the staging line for the rescuers on the 4th stage after the run to be picked up. He'll be shuttling those out. DeBrule is going to be the victim, but he's paddling next. I don't know how he's going to get out there that fast. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah, that is going to be very difficult. He is one of our best paddlers. He also has been competing in, all levels, national, regionals. He's one of our best paddlers here on the beach.
And if they still hold the plan, I didn't think he was going to be able to do that.
Well, and they may have switched it, looks like, because I think we just brought out a white cap, which would be Dillon,
Okay.
which is where he was. So maybe they made a switch. Maybe they realized that.
No, he's in Daytona.
Yeah,
He's a green.
Daytona,
Oh,
yes.
yeah,
He's green.
I apologize. Maybe, well, we'll see what magic they work here.
And I couldn't tell if there was 4 people out there already or was that just a crab ball. Which is scary to see when you're on a rescue. You see an algae-covered crab ball and you think it's another. So it's kind of startling. Abandoned crab trap balls, they're kind of startling out in the ocean if you run across one on a rescue. It's something you didn't expect.
Okay, it looks like we're everyone's getting ready now. It looks like we got the rescuers getting ready. The runners are warming up. The adrenaline is just in full overload here right now.
So that was Orman in the lead. So that's Dakota Obenar out on the course right now. I would assume with who was in second place in the white cap when they came in, Tammy. Who's that paddler? Did you get a look at him?
I did not see who that was, Jack.
It was probably, if I look through my records, it's going to be maybe Kai Marsh out of Kai's in the pink. So it's going to be Ryan Dixon out of Dunlop out on the course in second. Which that's thrown a wrench into things if Dunlop is in second so far on the medley, as far as points go. There's a good shot. That's a good shot of the New Smyrna paddler, which is probably Ryan Dixon. I'm sorry, that's Kai Marsh. That's Kai Marsh, the excellent. He's probably the fastest surfer paddler we have out there. He hasn't quite honed his skills on regional, but he's just a natural. He's what we call a wax head. He can get on any surfboard and just scratch and burn and paddle. And you see how he kicks his feet? That's a sign of a surfer. They kind of just by impulse, they kick their feet. It's not doing anything except balancing them. But that's Kai Marsh out of New Smyrna.
All right, Jack, we got the New Smyrna paddler coming in now.
It's like he's trying to catch a wave there.
Oh, you got a little runner. That's always a great feeling at the end of a race.
Okay, so he's going to be tagging off to Aaron Jenkins, and Aaron Jenkins is one of our full-time officers. Works a lot of night shift, but he is one of the top triathlons in the area. Nobody's going to catch him.
Yeah, he runs a lot of triathlons. He does a lot of Ironman triathlons all over the country.
He went to England a couple of years ago and rode his bike for about 14 days at a biking camp. He dates our former beach director's daughter, who's a Port Orange police officer. I won't mention her name, but he's just a great asset, and he's a heck of an athlete. Let me tell you, like I said, nobody's going to catch him. Seth Augustinowski is going to be running for Orman. He's as fleet as it gets.
Daytona coming in now. Daytona paddler Clayton Booth tagged off to Art Gendro, the runner for Daytona, another full-time officer.
So Art Gendro came to us from Winter Park in Orlando back in early 2005. He's a soccer player. Played soccer at college. Football team up in Tennessee. I think it was Tennessee State, if I'm not mistaken. Art just had a baby. Lives down in off of Mission Road, New Smyrna. He just took up triathlon with Aaron Jenkins. Aaron Jenkins got him into it, and boy, he has cut down. Now, these kids that are in this quarter mile, they're nothing what we call breath and britches. There is no fat, nothing but baggies and shoes on.
Well, and you can see this is a bit of a longer run than when we watched that 4x100 before. I'm sure for these competitors, it still feels short. If you're competing in triathlons, this is not long, but definitely not a sprint in the way that a 100 is. Although it looks like they're tackling it like it's a sprint.
It is, but it's not a track and it's not pavement, it's mush. We've got the tide coming in. When the tide's first waves are coming over what was the traffic lane, it's sort of like running in flour that's wet, like you're getting ready to make biscuits out of it. and it's not any fun to run in. It just slows the time down. Everybody's in the same situation, but Aaron can't find a groove. He keeps zigzagging back and forth, trying to find a hard spot, a sweet spot, but there isn't one. I can tell you that by being in this event before. But he's got a tailwind right now, so he's going to be comfortable. So what this plays into is Tom McGibney's the anchor. He's the rescuer. It's over.
This is New Smyrna. Aaron Jenkins coming in now on the run. This is a tough run with these sand conditions. It's not easy. Here he comes. And there goes Tom McGibney.
There's Tom McGibney. Tom is huge. He's probably 220. He's trained under Coach Steve Lochte for 23, 24, 25 years. I don't know. They're still very close. They talk every day. And he has finally gotten some time on his hands, even though he works at night. He's our night shift guy. We've got plenty of experience. But he's going to be hard. He can haul. He can get into the water fast. He's tall, so he doesn't even have to start swimming until it's probably 5 foot deep. And then once he gets a victim, really the victim doesn't even know he has a victim.
Here comes Art Gendro, Daytona. Tapping off to the...
Coming in, and we just had our last runner go out. They passed just now, right, Tammy? So we got our paddlers.
Now we got Seth from Ormond, Seth Agostinowski coming in.
Yep, Seth Agostinowski just handed off. So Ormond is going to be right up behind Cameron Goss with Daytona. Cameron comes from us. He just graduated from the University of Florida a couple of years ago. He's often traveled with our team. Works out at Halifax Hospital right now at the emergency department. And putting his fins on. He's not brushing off a jellyfish or anything. They're putting their fins on. So there's a break in the action when they do that. And now he's going to put it in overdrive. He can see that Ormond's coming up. And Cameron is waiting a PA position. He's trying to get in PA school. So he's going to work for us as much as he can while he's working out at Halifax. Great swimmer. I do believe he swam at Seabreeze High School, and he's also trained with Hydra 4. And he's been with us quite a bit. Usually sits on the south side of the Main Street Pier on a tower, 339. Great guy, real soft-spoken, real good friends with Clayton DeBrule. They particular event, when it's just a surf rescue event, it's just this event by themselves. It's a victim. The victim swims out, and then Cam goes. That's the event on the regional and national level. So they're very comfortable and experienced together as a team.
Well, and you said, Jack, there's some strategy here as far as picking who even your victim is, because it's someone who can be light in the water, who has a strong kick and can really help you get back in.
Correct. And they're familiar with each other, and they've practiced together a little bit, but we'll just see how much Clayton has in the tank as far as his legs go after doing that paddle. He probably didn't have to use his legs a whole lot because there wasn't a whole lot of knee paddling involved because of the size of the waves and the chop out there. But when McGibney gets out there and he gets turned around, it's going to be lights out, because he came to us when he was 16 at Spruce Creek, and he was probably the best swimmer we had. A little bit full of himself because he was fast and tall and big, had him in Dunlawton back then, and because he was from the Port Orange area. And but he's turned it around this year, and now that he's done having kids, I do believe he's got 3 boys now. He's got a little bit more time to train, and because the kids are pretty much in school, so he's competing again, which is a great thing. We haven't seen him compete in some time, so this is great to see him.
It's nice to have him back, and we can see now. Again, shout out to our drone operators, all of our crew, but these drone flyers are doing a great job of giving us these views, especially with the wind the way it is, to be able to see this from where our competitors are and where these victims are. And we're seeing that our last rescuer looks like is heading out into the water. And
yep, that's Philip Field from Dunlawton. He's a full-time employee of ours too.
Yeah, that's Nate Vesey from Dunlawton.
Oh, yeah. Vesey they put in. Okay.
They have these last-minute changes. We don't.
That's okay.
That happened. Not sure what happened. Some people are injured or sick. They can't compete at the last minute.
Little traffic jam out at the line. McGibney was already on his way in, and it looked like Daytona almost crashed into him, as well as Ormond. on the exchange, but he's got little Miss Monahan, Haley Monahan in tow right now. This is going to be closer than I thought. With Cameron Goss and Clayton DeBrule, it depends on who takes the best line. Somebody's getting a little off course, but it's tightening up here.
Yeah, this is another hard race with these conditions, but this is what we train for. This is why we train. We here in Volusia County rescue about 3,000 people out of the water each year.
Now you can see the victims behind the buoys kicking. You can see the big whitewater kick. Easy. You may do that for a little. And a pelican just dove into the picture. Did you see that?
A pelican who wanted a little screen time and dove on it.
We never like to see that because the sun's going down, the water's dirty, and the pelican is indicating us there's a food source. So when the food source is being attacked from above, it's usually being looked at from below too, if you get my drift. And
Tammy, give me your favorite statistic. We have people who are always afraid of sharks in the ocean, and there are other things to be more aware of and fearful of, correct?
Absolutely, Kate. People love to talk about sharks. They're so interesting, right? But here in Volusia County, we rescue about 3,000 people out of the water each year. This is why we have these competitions. This is why we push our lifeguards to their physical limits. We need to be in top physical condition at all times.
And lightning strikes are also something people need to be aware of when they go to the beach.
Very scary.
It's another danger of clearing the beach and listening to our beach safety team when they ask you to find a place with safe shelter.
Absolutely. June, July, August is usually when we have most of our lightning strikes in the afternoon. We know here in Florida every afternoon we get those storms come through. If you're on the beach, lightning can strike up to 10 miles away, so please listen to those lifeguards. When they tell you to get off the beach and seek shelter in a building or vehicle, please listen to them.
So out of the fear and education, really, more than fear, but back to our competition, and it looks like it's still kind of close and coming down to the wire. We've got our competitors coming into shore. Tammy, how's it looking down there?
They're getting closer, and it looks like we got the pink caps. We got New Smyrna.
Ooh, there was a wave of separation with the Daytona team, but they stayed, Clayton stayed attached.
And it just so happens that we got that New Smyrna team coming in, and their family is right next to me watching them. His wife and 3 children.
Oh, Mindy is here.
Here's from up here. What a great crowd out there.
This is going to be close. They're both getting rid of their fins right now. We'll see who has the legs to get out. This is going to be interesting.
This is hard after that swim.
It's exhausting.
And it all comes down to this right now for this competition.
They got to stay connected. See, his victim got a wave, and she's dragging him now. They have to stay connected, but it looks like McGivney's going to pull it off.
It looks like they are. It's hard. This is hard. This is a hard run up to the finish line.
Go, Dad, go.
Looks like New Smyrna got it.
And Tommy is done.
Second place Daytona. DeBrule and Cameron Goss.
Cameron Goss and Clayton DeBrule second place. So exactly as I predicted, it's going to be tied up going into beach flags.
Well, we couldn't ask for a better finish then.
We got the third place coming in right now. Yellow caps. We got Orman.
Orman in third. That was brutal.
That was a good race. That's brutal. When you come out of the water after a swim like that, it's so hard to run, even walk, but to run, it's so difficult. Your legs are like jello.
Yeah, you'd think that the victim is sort of a throw-in, easy portion of the event, but it's not. Those legs go about halfway in, and when it comes time to run, once you get bottom and start heading towards shore, it's really tough for those kids to keep up with each other. If a wave takes one or both of the partners, and they're not expecting it, they can get separated and get a DQ. But hey, that was a great race. It looks like the points are going to get tied up. We haven't seen the full moon yet, but I wanted to tell you all, hopefully as we wind up this event, we're going to have a beautiful end to it with a sunset and a full moon. So we're going to start staging for the women's beach flags. We're into our final 2 events of the night. We appreciate you guys coming in. Stick around. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, probably. Huh?
Sunsplash Park, Daytona. Incident occurred on the 10. Tower CQ1, lifeguard in the water, responding on 5 to Beach 40 Central. En route drowning and have fire roll code 3 at a time. Beach 23 Special, copy of water rescue. University approaching Daytona Beach. We got one guard in the water at 4.
We are not ordinary people. We know this. We run into the chaos when everybody else is running away.
So we are back. We're getting prepared for our last event of the evening, the men's and women's beach flags. So Jack, give us a little bit of a rundown on how this last event goes.
Right, beach flags is the most popular. It has nothing to do with lifeguarding other than it takes you to be fit to do it. It's sort of like a cakewalk type of game. It's a process of elimination, and what we'll do, we'll start with 3 team members from each district. So we'll have 12 ladies and 12 men. Of course, they'll be competing with each other. We'll start with 12. There'll only be 10 flags to pick up. Now, the flags, they refer to them as flags, but they're really not. They're just a piece of 11-inch rubber hose in the sand. So the competitors will lay face down, facing away from these hoses. The hoses will be about 25 feet away from them. The starter will get them all lined up, laying down with their chins on the ground, resting on and whoever gets the first 10 flags gets to stay in. The 2 that didn't are eliminated. We'll go from 12 to 10 to 8, and then I think it just goes 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll flip-flop back and forth from women's to men's. So the ladies will get a chance for a break once we brush the sand off and bury the flags back in the same transition down from 12 to 10 to 8 to 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This generally has been dominated the last 2 years by Ormond. We'll see how that goes. The points are a little bit different as far as being awarded first through 4th place. Instead of getting 10 points, first place for beach flags is only going to be 5 points.
Okay.
And then second place will be 4, and so on. It's just going to be descending order 5, 4, 3, 2 instead of a 10, 8, 6, 4. So there'll be less points awarded. So there won't be huge jumps unless you totally get eliminated. And by the way, if 3 of your team members are still in it, and one particular district has been eliminated, the team that got eliminated first is automatically 4th place. You can only get 1 place if the 2 ladies that finish first and second are from the same district. They're only getting 1 set of points. So you can't overwhelmingly gather points this way, but sometimes some of the teams that have lagged behind in some of the water specialties but are really good at the 4x100, that usually transitions into success into the beach flags as well. So in the last couple of years, in fact 4 out of the last 5 years, Caroline Lydecker out of Ormond Beach, the winner in the women's. And she just graduated from Liberty College. Now she's doing a post-grad at another school, and I think she's playing soccer at both. And she comes from a long lineage of athletes, including her father, who was he was a lifeguard at either Jones Beach, New York, somewhere up in New York State. And Charlie, of course, his common name here, Charlie Lydecker, has a big insurance company here too. and both her brother and her sister. It was funny in her bio, she goes, what are you best known for? She goes, probably my brother and my sister. Well, let me tell you something. Caroline Leindack, her personality, her professional ethic on tower, she's also a junior lifeguard instructor, but she flags in the 4x100 by storm. She's good. She's sharp. There's no resting laurels on her last name any longer. She's taken it now to a whole new level. So she'll be spearheading the team from, of course, Ormond. Now, Emma Pincero with Daytona. She's in her 7th or 8th year here. She'll probably be up there with Team Daytona when it comes to the last 4 or 5 as well.
We've got some people to look for. We can actually see it looks like the men are getting ready to set up, so very quickly we'll jump over to team standings just to see where we stand before this starts. So we have our leader, and well, we have a tie right now for the lead. With
That's
District
what we
3,
thought.
District 4, Daytona and New Smyrna Beach, both tied at 42 points. District 2, Ormond is at 34 points, and District 5, Dunlun is at 26 points. So this is really coming down to Daytona and Tide to see who can pull out the victory. So it looks like we're getting ready to start. We're getting close, and once this event starts, Jack, it goes quickly. Goes
quickly. We're probably going to have to add some lights down there because unless the moon gives us some help, and I don't know if it will, but it's going to be a new champion this year. Ormond is eliminated. So, and the men are going to go first. Usually it's ladies first, but we got some hot shots. We got Seth Augustinowski in it from Ormond. We got Gavin Ziegler here on the end in the black shorts. Third from him is Art Gendreau. He won 10 years ago. He's back in it again, getting into triathlons. So we're going to see who goes out first here, and then we'll go from there. We're going to go down to, you can see the rubber hoses now. Those are what we call flags. Those are about 25, 30 feet away, and they got to jump up blindly. They cannot peek, and here they go.
And it's always exciting. Sometimes someone misses a flag. And
there's a stumble and a fall.
Flag.
That might have been Seth Augustinowski that
Seth
stumbled.
came up behind, and he was paying attention.
Seth got it. He stumbled, but he got it. Looks like some of the top competitors got in. They got to stick around.
So this first round we go from 12 to 10, correct? We cut out 2 people, and
correct.
It's a lot like musicals.
I believe it's 12 to 8, I think it goes down to.
No, I think it's 12, 10, 8.
Okay.
It looks like all 3 of Daytonas are in. I will tell you now that we're in the event, Gavin Ziegler, who's walking towards the end of the finish line right now, that's always been tops in this event. He pulled a groin muscle practicing a couple days ago. They've already lost one of their top beach flags in Hunter Pincero. And Gavin, I talked to him before the event today, and I go, how is it? And he goes, I don't feel it when I'm standing still. I go, well, that's not what you're going to be doing out there. And I can already see he's favoring it. Now, if he can just help eliminate some people, and not necessarily win, but at least deprive somebody else out of a hose a few rounds, that's going to help immensely for Daytona.
So now we'll reset with 10 and have our women come out, correct? And we'll
Right.
have them compete. So we'll switch back and forth. Like you said, give the competitors a little bit of a short break to catch their breath before they go back out. This drone shot, you can really see where you're talking about the tide and the moon and kind of just the waves creeping in on us over here.
Right.
Looks like we have a tie here that we're doing a runoff.
Okay, so Jack, what happens when there's a tie? When they can't determine who gained possession?
Well, yeah, what happened probably was 2 people dove on the same flag, and if they can't determine who got it first, who had the proper grip on it, they'll just do a quick one-man runoff, and that'll be that. And then we'll train. So quick if a judge didn't get a clear view of it. It's hard in that pile, that many people that went all at once, that first round of 12 people.
Here we go. Looks like New Smyrna.
New Smyrna got it. That might have been one of the high marks. But this is injury-prone event. It hurts. That's soft sand, but after about the 4th or 5th round, you start feeling it, when you're pounding. And when you spread out yourself and you dive with one arm extended, it puts a tremendous amount of strain on your shoulder. Your shoulder tends to be the culprit. It's just as if the people that dive during a volleyball game or what have you, it does the same thing to it. So now we're going to put It looks like the ladies should be lining up. Usually they rotate. I don't know what's going on here yet.
Did they switch it up on us?
I think they switched it up on us for now until we'll find out. Maybe they're doing one more in here. I'm not sure what the officials are, what they have decided.
We can see everyone kind of smoothing out their spot and getting it just how they want, particularly. So they line their feet up on a rope, correct?
Yes, there's a rope they all have to be behind, and they'll smooth out the area, sort of like a bird making its nest or what have you. And one of our protected species that nest on the sand, and then they'll kind of look at the track in them to make sure there's no potholes or anything. They draw for lanes too, by the way.
Okay, it looks like they're going down to 8 here, Jack and Kate.
Okay, and it looks like Gavin Ziegler's in the middle this time. He drew a better lane. Sometimes it's better, sometimes it's not.
So they draw a lane every time?
Yeah, they draw a new lane every time.
Nice job,
That way, nobody can get the advantage.
Looks like a couple of Dunlop guards were eliminated. Yes. It looks like a couple Dunlop guards were eliminated out of that one.
Yeah, what they do to draw for lanes, they put popsicle sticks in the sand upside down with numbers on them, and everybody just picks 1 through 9 or 1 through 5 or how many there are. Because if you get the same lane every time down by water's edge, sometimes that lane's a little harder packed. Or if you get stuck in a middle lane against a fast guy every time, you're going to get eliminated. So they mix it up. So every time you're going to be coming from a different direction. So the strategies only play in per run. You know, because you can wink and nod at your teammates, like I'm going to stay on the outside, or we go for the same one in the middle to eliminate this guy between us, to eliminate that team. There's a whole nonverbal communication going on here, so they can jockey to eliminate, slowly pare down another team that maybe still have a full team left. So there's a whole thing going on. They know who they got to beat.
Girls are lining up now, Jack and Kate.
Okay, it'll be 12 girls, going to get whittled down to 10 after this one. So they've drawn for lanes, so you're going to have 3 from each of the districts, Ormond, Dunlawton, Daytona, and New Smyrna. And again, the New Smyrna girls, they know. You got Jessica Andrews just got full-time with us this year. She's now a full sworn law enforcement officer. She's always been good at this. She's used to be competing with Daytona. She's always in the top 4 or 5 at the end of the night. There she is. She just got transferred down to New Smyrna, so that's where she'll start the next 2 years as a law enforcement officer. And she's going to be going against, of course, so the favorite I've already mentioned is going to be Caroline Lydecker out of Ormond. And then, of course, Emma Pinciero has been training an awful lot here in Daytona. And then we got some new talents. Some of these young girls, the young talents that are good 4x100s are always dark horses. They're up.
There they go.
Getting dark down there.
So if this runs the same as the last one, we'll do another heat with the women to whittle us down from 10 to 8.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. There may have been a method to their madness to sort of pare them down quicker, or the girls weren't ready necessarily. They didn't have their whole team set yet. That could have been one of the reasons. But it's brutal if you have to go back to back to back like that. But they're trying to expedite it, and you can see because the water's coming in, it's going to encroach upon
We can see that east side where the water's kind of started to come in and soften the sand a little bit, even within the field of play.
Right. Normally we would have had plenty of room, but because of the soft sand issues lately, you can see where the left side of the spectators are. That's been our traffic lane. So it's a lane. It's a rut. It's a double-wheeled rut, and you can't run across that. So we're kind of stuck on that island, if you will, right now. But the girls are going to go, so we're down to 10. I know Grace Schuberman is in it with Daytona, as well as Emma. Emma's still in it. And they have, I'm not sure who the new girl is on their team that's been trained to be a dark horse. Some of these tiny girls that are real lightweight, they just seem to float across the sand. The soft sand really doesn't slow them down.
They're about to start, Jack. I know they changed it up a little bit. They're eliminating down to 8 now.
Okay. Yep, we're going down to 8. So we went to 10, now we're going to lose 2 more. Do you have any idea who we lost in that last round?
No, it was hard to tell. I know that
So I saw in that round right there, Emma got up and got a head start. She was leading the pack, and Caroline was using her speed. Caroline Lidecker out of Ormond was reeling them in pretty quick. So
we definitely got Emma and Caroline still in. Emma is with Daytona, Caroline with Ormond.
So what's going to happen here if Caroline dominates and New Smyrna gets eliminated and Emma Pinciero out of Daytona stays in to the final, let's say 2 or 3, it's going to put Daytona in a sweet spot as far as the ladies go to win.
We got the men lining back up.
Got the men lining back up. It looks like closest to our picture is going to be Seth Augustinowski, cross-country runner in track over at Florida Southern in Lakeland. And then the black Speedos down in the middle of the lane is going to be Gavin Ziegler with Daytona. I got a New Smyrna guy out on the end on the east side at Water's Edge. The red, white, and blue, I'm not sure who's in the red, white, and blue. I'm going to have to get an ID on him. And of course, Art Gendreau is third closest to us in the red shorts. He's another speed freak. He's in the lane. He's in the lead right now. He is awesome. It looked like him and Gavin, as long as Gavin lasted. I don't know how long Gavin's going to last with his injury, but Art Gendreau is a pro. He's got experience. He's got the history. Tammy, can you tell us who got eliminated?
Dunlawton just was eliminated.
Okay.
And I don't...
Okay, now we got the girls coming back out. Now we're going to go down to 7 or 6, Tammy, do you know?
They just went down to 7.
Okay.
There's going to be a single elimination from here on out.
Okay.
And I don't have any Dunlawton still in this for the men. Women and...
So Dunlawton was completely eliminated in beach flags so far.
For the men.
Okay, for the men. So closest to our picture, third in our picture with the orange suit on is going to be Grace Schuberman from Daytona, and then right next to her, that's a bad draw. That's going to be her teammate Emma Pincero, and then sixth down the lane, the only blonde left in it is going to be our girl Caroline Lidecker. She looks like she's just pacing herself. Daytona was eliminated. Grace is gone.
We lost Grace. She's a good competitor. She may have had a bad start.
Yep, you can get a bad start. She had a bad draw too. She was against some fast people. Nobody's slow now.
A bad or good start can,
Yeah, if you slip on the start, you're done. If you trip one time, you slip, you're done. Grace has done a great job. She's in her second year working for us. She trains every morning ahead of drill. She's just been a nice spark. She sits all the busy towers. She's in the water all the time. She said she's known for, I'll be 10-6 in the water north. 10-6 in the water is our code for we're busy in the water. And I've sat next to her this year, and I don't have to worry. That water is covered. And like I said, some of the girls, because she's small in stature, and she's a tiny thing. She's probably barely 5 foot tall, but that just makes them more aware and more vigilant, and their confidence. Their competence is great, but their confidence is what they question in themselves, and it really turns into a great guard. Men are down to 7.
It looks like we lost Seth Augustinowski from Ormond on this one, Jack and Kate.
Seth Augustinowski, that's a big blow for Ormond.
Yeah.
That's a big blow. They still have somebody in it, but Seth is a distance guy. He's not a sprinter. And I bet his coach at Florida Southern doesn't know he's doing this.
We won't tell him.
We won't tell him, and hopefully he's not streaming or anything, but this is not in the off-season summer training format. I can guarantee you from his coach that they send online to him.
Now we've got the women back.
We have the women back now, and it looks like Caroline got an outside draw. She's close to water's edge, so that's always a nice one to have. That's always a nice draw to have, because if the person next to you sees Grace next to you and that's the last lane, they're not going to take that last flag. They're going to give it to her. She's got that one sewn up. So I would say this next round, barring any accidents that she has, trip up or something like, or false start or something like that, Caroline's going to be in the next round. She's going to carry over. And Emma looks, I can't even see Emma because there's a tree in the way, but hopefully she'll carry through as well. I think she's second closest to us. But Daytona's down to 2. Emma's number 3. Always a big smile on their face. And by the way, this is fierce competition tonight, and they really want it for bragging rights, and they'll brag about it. But come 2 weeks from now, regionals is in Martin County in Jupiter, and they're all one big team.
Well, and even tonight we saw competitors cross the line, and we saw competitors from other teams who were not their teammates high-fiving them, congratulating them, cheering them on. Really, at the end of the day, I know that this is fierce competition, but they're all one team with Volusia County Beach Safety.
That's right. And 12 of them were all mixed and matched on teams 2 weeks ago at the Jacksonville Relays here in Daytona.
Tammy, do we have another?
Oh, look at here.
It looks like we have another runoff.
Seth again in another runoff. That's, even if he gets this, that's going to be 2 more runs than anybody else. See, he's lost a step.
Looks like Wesley Dillman got it out of Ormond. Seth didn't, but it looks like the last heat of the men's flag was lost. Somebody didn't get a flag, and it was just laying here.
Oh.
See, this is what happens. That's why you need to look around.
They walked away.
Yeah.
Okay, well, at least Seth looks like he conceded. I see their captain, Craig Dexter, congratulating him. Craig Dexter was a past champion in beach flags here. In fact, Art Gendreau used to go head-to-head against Craig Dexter, but Craig Dexter has suffered so many dislocated shoulders, he's done. And he has. Both on duty, both playing beach flags and on duty accident. So. Emma Pincio and Caroline got that outside lane again, so they're both still in. We're losing light desperately.
It's even harder and harder to see those flags. You're not only competing for a limited number of flags, but you're also competing for the light to see them.
Yes.
Looks like we lost Bella Dillman on that one out of Ormond Beach.
Bella Tillman's gone. Okay, well, Ormond's down to 1.
Bella Dillman.
Bella Tillman.
Yeah.
Ormond's still playing in to be the spoiler for this, to break that tie between New Smyrna and Ormond. Daytona, even though Ormond probably numerically can't win overall. If Caroline holds,
they could take some points away.
They can definitely take some points away. And she's not sympathetic to anybody. She wants her individual medal. And by the way, August 3rd is our banquet. We have an awards banquet every year. It's going to be the Pavilion in New Smyrna this year. And Pavilion in Port Orange this year, right on the river. And they give awards: Lifeguard of the Year, the Tom Rennick Award, the Jay McDonough Award for the Jim Ray Rimmer Award, and then they give awards to recognize these guards. Art Gendreau has really got some wheels tonight.
Yeah, he is.
He's really got some wheels. Okay. Gavin Ziegler hung in there, Tammy.
Yeah, it looked like two guys came up with both a hand on one of those flags.
Yep, it's going to be a runoff. Gavin is limping noticeably now, so he may make it to the finals, but he might not make it to work tomorrow. So we shall see. We shall see. Yeah, we had some cloud cover to eliminate our sunset tonight, so we got a little darker ahead of our timing tonight. But we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it done. They rolled up some ATVs out there and turned on their headlights, so we're gonna be able to pull this off. We didn't get any bad weather.
It's a beautiful night, I have to say.
It is.
It's been so warm, and to be able to be out here and have this breeze and the sunset the way it is with the little bit of sunlight coming through the clouds, it's beautiful.
they take it for granted. Some of these guards, they work so long during the 12-hour shifts for the full-time employees, and it is long. But I get to see the sunrise and the sunset and a nice ocean breeze. It's not so bad. Not so bad. Here's the runoff. Looks like an Orman.
Oh, looks like New Smyrna got it.
New Smyrna got it. Was that he was in the paddle?
Yeah,
you spoke
and
with
it looks
Brad
like
Goodrich. What's his name? Tammy escapes me right now.
They were both from New Smyrna, so
I thought he was their spokesman, or is that's not Junkin?
they were both from New Smyrna, so we had the runoff between two Smyrna.
And now we're back to the women, and it looks like we're at 6, so we're going to be competing to narrow it down to 5.
Is Jessica Andrews in this? I haven't seen her, Tammy. She was slated to compete in this, but she may have to work tonight.
No,
So-
she was slated to compete.
But I haven't seen her. So Caroline Lidecker drew another good lane all by herself, so she was easily in.
We just lost another girl from New Smyrna.
So that's whittling it down for New Smyrna. They've lost one now. I mean,
Yeah, and Jessica Andrews was not in that, so I have not seen her tonight.
I didn't see her. So like I said, she may have had to work, and hey, we have obligations. They could only send so many people. With the staff shortage we have, we just can't abandon a post. A lot of people don't know, but our beaches are patrolled 24 hours a day. We have guys out here all night long in trucks responding to emergencies, disturbances, or what have you, all night long. You'd be amazed at the call volume they get. Missing persons, endless amount of things that occur down here. So
I know we just found a lost dog a couple days ago that had made his way over to the beach.
Happy ending. Happy ending.
Looks like we just lost Wesley Dillman out of Orman.
Wesley Dillman eliminated. He was a speedster on the 4x100 as well.
Again, a case of a flag not seen.
And of course, we talk about what happens on the beach often overnight is our turtle hatching. So turtle season, I think we're breaking a record this year of the number of nests that we've had. So lots of turtles out there. The importance of lighting correctly and refraining from having those red lights that shine onto the beach so the turtles can find their way into the ocean with the moon. And our lifeguards sometimes will help rescue with some of those turtles. I know Sunshine a few years ago that I think Officer Skinner helped get back to the Marine Science Center. So some really great stories with the wildlife as well as with the people.
Yeah, and especially in the fall, right after hurricane season comes, and sometimes it's timed with some of the emergence of some of the turtle nests, the late nesting. It's like a 60, 70-day incubation period, and that runs right into September, peak hurricane season. So we start getting a lot of washbacks, the babies, the hatchlings washing in with the seaweed and what have you. Then we start handling some numbers. We don't see the big ones very much, because they're up here nesting in the middle of the night. Our night shift gets calls, but it's the babies that we get. And looking at the graph, we have to take a class every year, of course. We have to renew for education purposes, and of course with our recruit training class. And boy, the graph is really showing an extreme success rate.
Well, and that's one of the things people don't realize is every morning before those vehicles can come on the beach for traffic, you have to make sure that there's none of those washbacks in our seaweed or the weed line, which is so difficult. They blend in so easily, so we have all of our great volunteers that come and check the seaweed to make sure all of the turtles are safely collected and they are safe from harm's way.
Yeah, it's a big operation. It's really huge. Here we go. What are we down to? 4 or 5, Tammy? We're down to 5?
We got 4. Right now we got
5 girls going to 4.
4 flags out here. So we just...
We can really see with that shot how dark it is. We got a little bit of light to help the competitors there.
Well, we still got Caroline.
All right, so
I know that.
Who was that, Liz?
Hey, Jake.
Yeah, we're getting some help with some lighting down there now. They're not. That's a little bit better lighting now.
Yeah,
for at least the
it
finish
is
line.
getting dark out here. We just lost Carmela Weaver with Daytona.
Okay.
She's been eliminated.
She did well though. Carmela
She did
Weaver
very
did
well.
well for a young competitor. Got some good experience there. So Emma is still in, and that's just one with Daytona though. That's important.
And we're down to our final four. We can see the men lining up now, getting ready to go.
So we still have two from Daytona. Art Gendreau and Gavin Ziegler are still in this with
Put the light on the hose.
the men's.
Put the light on the
New Smyrna has just been eliminated.
That's big.
It's especially for the standings with the time.
We got Ziegler, Gendreau still in it.
Are all three of Daytona's people in it? Would that be right?
Yeah, it may be right. We just lost Dustin out of New Smyrna.
Is that Boston Learn with Gavin and if that's Daytona, 1, 2, 3.
Does Daytona have 3 in it?
I mean, they're gonna do it for medals. They're gonna do it for bragging rights amongst themselves, but then the points have already been decided. But I'm not sure if that third guy in the black Speedo, but I thought he was with Daytona. That's Gavin's training partner.
Yeah, he's from Daytona as well, Jack. I just learned. So
And now, Caroline fell, but she got it. She crawled to it.
we just lost a Dunlawton girl. She's been eliminated. Peyton.
Peyton Meggie, yep, we had her as one of our competitors
Yeah.
to watch. It makes sense. She made it down to the final four.
So that leaves Emma Pinciero and Caroline Leidecker and another girl from Ormond. I do believe, would that be Cameron? No, that's not Cameron Freer.
Well, no, I don't believe she was in it.
No, she was listed as being in it, but I didn't see her.
Yeah.
But if New Smyrna is out of the
I'll check.
women's as
I'll
well,
check with the officials.
It may be that Daytona has pulled away. We'll have to wait for the final standings, but it's looking good for Daytona.
Caroline.
And it's been a while.
Okay.
It's been a while for them.
Okay, that third girl is Julie Barrett.
Okay, Julie Barrett.
Oh, and that is New Smyrna, so they're still
All right.
holding a spot there.
Boston Learn from Daytona has just been eliminated.
Got third,
now we're down to Gavin and Art Gendreau.
And I can tell you right now that Gavin's pretty much gassed, plus his groin injury. It's probably going to be Art unless Art feels sorry for him. But I don't.
But really, what competitive spirit to stick it out, even with an injury all the way down, especially when he was one of 3 and his team, it was just his team in there, but I guess bragging rights mean a lot.
Right. So here's a New Smyrna and Ormond. And Emma got a good start and a good jump. What a dive by Emma Pinciero to eliminate a New Smyrna competitor.
Looks like Julie Barrett just was eliminated.
So it's going to be down to Caroline, our past champion, and Emma. And Caroline Leidecker is just a stand-up person, consummate lifeguard, unselfish, trains hard, smart as she is. She already graduated from college playing soccer. Now she's doing a post-grad. And the sky's going to be the limit for her. She probably won't want to leave the beach.
Well, who can blame her sometimes?
I know.
We're lucky to be here.
I know, it's hard. And she just loves the juniors program as well. And we hope to see her again. I hope this isn't her last Interzone competition, but if she was to win this, this will be like the 5th time she's won this individual event. We're up. Oh no!
Looks like Gavin
did it.
Ziegler.
The old man must have let him up. So young injuries.
Both from Daytona though.
All from Daytona. We got Clayton DeBrule in there, the team captain. There's Art's daughter.
Celebrating with the daughter.
Wife and daughter here.
So really, really is a family affair. It's so nice to
sure
see
is.
everyone out here together.
Sure is. We got a bunch of kids coming up. Bunch of kids. That one's a little too young to start juniors, but that
The next generation of lifeguards is among us.
a past Olympian that worked for us, Mickey Goodner. He swam against Mark Spitz. Too young for you, you're too young for him, Mark Spitz. He swam in the '68 Olympics. He worked for us. Here we go. Caroline wins. Caroline Lidecker wins for the 5th time in the last 6 years. She's just an excellent person. Emma Pinciero from Daytona gets second. So Orman wins the event. They won't win the overall, but they finish in good fashion. And I was talking about Mickey Goodner. He's got a grandkid. He's got 6 of them, but his grandson is 8. Couldn't get in juniors next year. So we're getting them in. And we're going to get them out on a red towel too, and they're going to follow tradition of their grandparents. There she is, getting congratulations from Emma. Emma's a sport.
Well, and really, what a great end to the competition. So exciting. As we're losing daylight, to see everyone celebrate together, the encouragement. So we're going to take one more quick break, and then we'll come back and close out the night.
Get the final results. Thanks. The moon.
Sunsplash Park, Daytona. Incident occurred on the sand. Tower CQ1, lifeguard in the water, responding on advice radio on scene. To Beach 40 Central, en route drowning and have fire roll code 3 at a time. To Beach 23 Central, copy of water rescue. University approaching Daytona Beach, we got 1 guard in the water at 4. We are not ordinary people, we know this. We run into the chaos when everybody else is running away.
So we're back.
And Tammy's down there. Up here, we can hear everyone celebrating, cheering. We're waiting for those final scores to come in so that we can officially announce the winner. Tammy, is it crazy down there?
So there we go. Looks like Daytona won. Yeah, Tammy.
According to my calculations, they should have won by about 4 points, probably. I'm not sure. Could be off.
So it sounds like Daytona is our winner.
Daytona is your winner.
We had 51 points for Daytona and 49 for New Smyrna, 42 for Ormond, and 30 for Dunlop. So it was a close race between first and second, Jack, but Daytona pulled it out.
Closer than I thought. It was all about beach flags again. Ormond has relinquished their crown after 2 years. It's come home to Daytona. Traditionally, for years, Daytona was the go-to district, but since then, we've had New Smyrna and Ormond coming up with some heavy talent. So congrats to all the competitors. You put on a great show for everybody, both here live on the beach and online with Volusia County live streaming it for us.
Yeah, and thank you to everyone who watched, who tuned in tonight, who helped cheer on our competitors from wherever they were watching. Thank you to our production team who has been out here, who has been filming, our drone, who have been out here capturing all this fantastic footage. This would not happen without them. Again, congrats to all the competitors. Thank you to Volusia County Beach Safety Ocean Rescue for everything they do. We are so grateful. Thank you, Jack.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
Your wisdom and knowledge. Tammy, thank you so much for being our on-the-ground person reporting live from the action.
Absolutely. There's so much excitement out here right now. This is great.
We are so thankful to be able to be here and be here with you all and just be able to bring this great competition to you.
Hey, September.
It's been an exciting year again.
The Veterans Home is open again.
Good things to come here, Kate. We appreciate it. Y'all come see us at the beach.
And remember, if you want to stay tuned in year-round, Volusia County Beach Safety has a very robust social media presence of Volusia County Beaches. You can follow them on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. They've always got great information. Download the Volusia Beaches app if you're planning to come to the beach. You'll be able to get the latest and greatest information there as well. Just a wealth of information, whether you live here or you're visiting, happy stories that we get to talk about turtles and rescues and all of the wonderful things our team does. So stay tuned in year-round. Watch our competitors as they continue to work for the agency and grow and learn with us. And again, thank you for being part of this beautiful night shot of the beach. And thank you for letting us be a part of your night.
Thanks a lot, and again, thanks for the community information team that put on such a great production here. The behind-the-scenes effort was just enormous, you guys, and we really appreciate it. And we invite you to come back and see us in 2023. We look forward to it.
And until then, swim in front of a lifeguard tower and stay safe and continue to support Volusia County Beach Safety Ocean Rescue. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Good. Here it comes. Here comes the moon. It was a cloud. Hey? Yeah. Here comes the big full moon. We couldn't wait. Sorry.
Oh, man.
It's going to be giant. Giant full moon.